What's up? Are you really everybody's sister? I don't know. Seems like a reach.
What you think about when you're born into a fire. Let them burn it out. Sell them to the richest buyer. They wanna let the world decay. They tell us lies and fade away, fade away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. Listen up now, because we're never dropping out. Beat the odds, beat the big house. Our brains are bigger than the doubt. We've been thinking for ourselves, never let the truth fade away. This is bigger than ourselves, we won't let the world burn away, burn away. We feel betrayed. We were raised to lose the race. Wake at the back of the pack, kill it anyway. To play haters' face.
I've been threatened. I had to call the sheriff's department. Oh, the timer was way off. I knew it was probably off. I didn't fuck with it. Let's see if we can get it.
Hey Daddies, it's me, the Linda Binda from TikTok. I wanted to make this video because I wanted to thank you for watching Cold Beer Confessionals with Will Bird. I think that's just incredible. I've watched a few episodes and I'm just like very intrigued. But you know what I'm most intrigued in is Big Daddy's meat stick. I heard that it's very thick, like a good old German sausage. You know, Linda and her coochie loves that. Oh, never mind. Let's not go there. Anyways, I hope you have a good show and enjoy it as you can. There's a lot of weird things that go on, especially when it comes from the realm of Linda Bindaland. So, enjoy the show. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Welcome everybody. I am Will Bird, and this is a Cold Beer Confessional. Thank you for joining us. My new slogan that I come up with all on my own is, I watch the news, so you don't have to. Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. A kind of solemn tone tonight in the show. You have these crazies. Oh, first of all, if you want to support the show, do it at buymeacoffee.com/coldbeerconfessional. Buymeacoffee.com. Buy me a coffee. Spell it out. buymeacoffee.com/cold beer. Buymeacoffee.com/cold beer. Yes, back to a solemn tone for the show. Maybe a little solemn background music needs to be playing. I don't know. You have these crazies on the internet. Everybody likes to be on the internet. Everybody likes to have fun, right? That's what we like to do on the internet. But then people take it too far. Some people always take it too far. They get out here. They want to take it to real life. They want to show up. They want to make threats, and that's just not something that I want to deal with. So, called the local sheriff's department. Reported the threat. Actually, I'm kind of familiar with the guy who made the threat, so I got in touch with a what do they call the people? A police sketch artist. So we could get an idea of who is this guy and maybe be on the lookout. A bolo, be on the lookout for this guy. So I worked with a police sketch artist to recount some of the features because I kind of know this guy, but he also did a little description. And this is what we come up with. This is being passed around the local sheriff's department as we speak. So we can be ready to take action. Tip of the spear, right? Lead from the front. That's what I say. And this is what we came up with. So I don't know if any of you guys know this guy, but he actually made a threat against me today. So got to stay on our toes, ever vigilant, be ready to act at a moment's notice. Okay, I didn't know he made the threat. He actually made the threat 4 days ago. But I was scrolling through some old Facebook posts. The guy claims that I'm obsessed with him and I see everything and watch everything. Hell, I haven't fucking, I didn't even know I was threatened until a few hours ago when I started looking at a Facebook post from a group that's dedicated to checking him out. Anyways, we're going to review the threat. We're going to go from there. You remember how a few days ago I mentioned how stupid it was a lie? Someone in Bert's chat said, I can type such and such words per minute. And then Bert made the dumbest lie I think I've ever heard him make, besides that he's talented, gifted, or, well, you know, all that stuff. He's a good podcaster. The dumbest lie I've heard him make about typing, I guess. He said, I had a girlfriend who could type like 200 words a minute, maybe more. It wasn't just I had a girlfriend that could type fast. I had a girlfriend that could type extremely fast. I had a girlfriend that could type 1,000,000 words per minute, you know, like an over-exaggeration. It was a weird lie. It was a strange lie to say that your girlfriend is the fastest typer in the world and that she went to work for a medical coder. It was a very weird lie. That's a weird thing to lie about, dude. It's not even you, and it's not your current girlfriend. It's just such a weird fucking lie. I don't know. It was a weird lie. So we talked about that on the show, and that led me into a video I had recently watched, which is actually this video. I'll show it to you in just a second. Let me grab it. I'll show you part of it. I don't even know how I stumbled upon this video, but I watched it from start to finish because it was a video I kind of like where someone's like investigating a scam or someone's lying or whatever. It actually led me to this video. So let me show you this, which is how I told you guys about the lie in the Guinness Book of World Records and stuff. That was all a part of this video. And this video is like 2 years old, but I probably watched it maybe a month before Bert made this really weird lie.
To be the world's fastest typist. And it turned out she was not the world's fastest.
The biggest scandal in speed typing history is the name of the video, and it's from Carl Jobst.
Forgive me if I'm a little skeptical.
Okay.
Hello, you.
So that was Dave Letterman saying, well, we had the world's fastest typer, but it turns out she wasn't actually the world's fastest typer. And that
legends. Who
leads into
is
this.
the
So
fastest typist
check it out.
in the world. Currently, the unofficial champion is a 16-year-old that goes by the name Mythical Rocket. On June 7, he became the first person to successfully sustain a speed of 300 words per minute over a 15-second period.
That's insane, by the way, right? That this 16-year-old is typing over 300 words a minute for a 15-second period. Is that what it said?
Goes by the name Mythical Rocket. On June 7, he became the first person to successfully sustain a speed of 300 words per minute over a 15-second period. This is incredible, and is 20 words per minute faster than anyone else has ever achieved. And I figured that seeing as I knew nothing about competitive speed typing, I'd research it and possibly do a video about it. I wanted to know
So this guy found some more information he likes and decided to research it. And that's how we got into the this woman that claims Barbara, is her name Barbara Blackburn? She claims to be the fastest typist in the world, and she just wasn't. It was a marketing
the
stunt.
history of speed typing, and if there are any official records for it, or some kind of adjudicating body. And in my search for speed typing lore, there was one particular name that seems to be widely accepted as the fastest typist ever.
She goes to a different typing school. You wouldn't run into her, don't worry.
This was a lady called Barbara Blackburn, and she's almost certainly the most famous typist that's ever existed.
And when you Google this, this still comes up. Even though it doesn't seem very credible, this still comes up.
In the 80s, she rose to prominence as the fastest typist in the world, even appearing on David Letterman's late night show. So how fast could Barbara type? Well, according to her Wikipedia page and tons of other sources, Barbara could type at 212 words per minute. This is pretty fast, but admittedly, in modern times, many typists have surpassed this speed. Still, Barbara Blackburn is constantly cited as the fastest typist.
So even though modern people have beat her time, she's still on Google. Mostly because inaccuracies with keyboards and computers and typewriters and back and forth, electronic typewriters, mechanical typewriters. It's not a really good way to judge this as far as like the Guinness Book of World Records. Instead, they have competitions.
Ever to this very day, and her benchmark of 212 is often said to be the fastest ever achieved. But did this achievement actually happen? Is it possible that this claim was entirely made up? And for the past 40 years, people have been parroting this over and over again until it just became accepted as fact.
Yes, it seems like the claim is made entirely up, and instead she probably types well, like over 100 words per minute, nowhere near 200, and it was made up as a marketing stunt. That's what this whole video goes to show you. I don't know if there's a conclusion. Let's jump to this section called the truth. I don't want to watch this whole video, but here we go.
You know, used to be I could barely type 150 words a minute. Still, it did get me in the Guinness Book of Records. Now I can do nearly 200 words a minute with my Apple IIc.
And in the same month again, she confirmed to the LA Times that her record was actually 196 words per minute. But was Barbara even that quick?
196 is what she claimed in an article that no one ever validated these claims, but the Guinness Book of World Records has her at 212.
Evidence do we have that she was a fast typer at all? Well, she was in the Guinness Book of World Records. Surely they timed her or something. Of course not. Guinness are complete morons, and the true story is that Barbara was never adjudicated by Guinness and provided no official evidence of her speed. In a 1977,
they never sent out someone to watch her to verify that she just basically her boss that owned the keyboard that they were advertising sent in a letter, says she does it, and there was no proof ever.
St. Louis Post-Dispatch article, Barbara said that she never had any contact with Guinness, and the reason she was put in court is because a man named Philip Davis, a Dvorak advocate who owned exclusive rights to the layout, wrote a letter to Guinness describing her skills. That's literally it. Some guy sent Guinness a letter saying that Barbara was the fastest typist in the world, so they put her in the book. Guinness even confirmed this themselves. The only concrete evidence we have of...
But that makes it even crazier that this woman had to lie about it because no one was typing that speed, and that Bert lied about it. Like, it's such a weird lie.
Barbara's typing skills is her appearance on David Letterman, where she typed approximately 70 words in 1 minute and had her hand in the wrong position.
And it wasn't like a throwaway exaggeration, like, oh yeah, I knew a girl that could type 1 million words per minute, or at least it seemed like it. You know, it was like, oh, I had a girlfriend one time that could type over 200 words per minute. Faster than that, really. Like, it was just insane.
So most of the keystrokes were completely...
And it was only to one up a random person in his chat that said, I can type like, let's say they said 120. I can type like 120. He's like, oh, well, I had a girlfriend. It's so weird.
Incorrect. Barbara claimed there was a hardware malfunction, but it was proven that she just had her hand on the wrong keys, a rookie mistake. After the disastrous Letterman appearance, Barbara was removed from the Guinness Book of World Records, and she essentially faded away into obscurity. However, the hyperbolic and inaccurate claims of Barbara Blackburn being the fastest typist ever have since persisted. And as I've shown, people keep making ridiculous and erroneous claims about what was even...
And he found this not only on Google, but like on Wikipedia and a bunch of different books. Some of the books are like to learn typing and shit. Like a bunch of different references called back to this at 216 words per minute, or 212 or 196 or whatever, and give her credit for this. It was like seared into everybody's collective memory, even though it's not real.
Into the Guinness books, or when she achieved this speed. Every time someone brings up Barbara, the story changes ever so slightly. In another 40 years, I'm sure Barbara will be typing at 300 words per minute and hold the Guinness record for fastest typist ever in the history of the multiverse. So why did this all happen, and why did Barbara rise to prominence? Well, Barbara met the creator of the Dvorak keyboard layout in 1938, and they became friends.
So this is the part that I thought was not Bert's lie. This is the part that I thought was an actual interesting story. It was literally a marketing campaign. So the keyboard we use is called the QWERTY keyboard, QWERTY, because that's the first 5 letters of the keyboard, right? QWERTY. And, 6 letters of the keyboard. And this person invented the Dvorak keyboard, DVORAK. And basically her claim was, like, I could never type this fast on the old style keyboard, but now I've upgraded to this one, so everybody should buy it to type faster.
After becoming embedded in the Dvorak inner circle, Barbara was basically used as a marketing tool to demonstrate how amazing the Dvorak system is. After the inventor of the Dvorak layout died in 1975, the new rights holder, Philip Davis, wrote to Guinness and got her into the book, despite Barbara never having done.
So after the previous owner died, someone else bought the company. And the new owner just sent a letter to Guinness saying, hey, I got this person that can type over 200 words per minute. You should put her in the world record book for free marketing or whatever.
Any official test. They used this Guinness World Record holder prestige to leverage Barbara into TV appearances in order to advertise the Dvorak keyboard.
Now, somebody was explaining to me that the original typing system was laid out just arbitrarily.
That's right.
And
all just a marketing scheme.
the system you're talking about was there was some thought into what letters you use more often than other letters.
That is correct. It was scientifically developed by Dr. August de Boer way back in 1932.
I love his work.
The entire thing was just a marketing stunt, trying to popularize the QWERTY keyboard alternative. And the fact that Barbara was a Guinness World Record holder was pushed heavily everywhere to make her seem legitimate.
Her name was Barbara Blackburn.
And she even got that deal, that commercial we saw her in, where she's like, before I could barely type this much or whatever. That was a sponsorship she did with Apple.
World's fastest typist. In fact, she is entered here in the Guinness Book of World Records. She attains a speed of 170 words per minute using the Dvorak simplified keyboard system.
And in every news article, Barbara peddles the same story, that she failed typing with the QWERTY keyboard, but after switching to Dvorak, became the fastest in the world. It's all one big media push to bring awareness to the brand. I have to admit, they pulled it off pretty well, but it's not hard to manipulate the public like this when the world record adjudicator is so pathetically useless and corrupt. This whole concept of getting a Guinness World Record with no evidence
and this is a much wider issue, that Guinness World Records are not really world records. Like, people do it just to be in the book or just for attention or just for the media, but this is not a good group to keep world records of shit, because they're not very good at it.
And using that world record to advertise yourself or your product has been done over and over again. And it's incredible to me that some people still
advertise your product. That's the biggest thing. Marketing. You pay a shit ton of money for them to send one of their fucking adjudicators out, right? A ton of money. And you pay money to have it listed. And you get this marketing from it. And usually the news picks up on it and shit, your local news, whatever.
think having a Guinness World Record means something. So how fast was Barbara really? Unfortunately, we will never know, but it certainly wasn't 212 words per minute as everyone claims. It's not unfathomable that she approached 200 words per minute, and I wouldn't entirely rule out the possibility that her actual claim of 196 words per minute is true, as these days, that kind of speed on a computer is relatively trivial. For example, the current fastest typist, Mythical Rocket, recently sustained a speed of 231 words per minute over an entire hour, which is absurd and tells you
230 words per minute over an hour is fucking insane.
Just how much further typing has come over the past 40 years. And what's interesting is that despite so many claims of the Dvorak keyboard being superior, Mythical Rocket set all of his records using the traditional QWERTY keyboard layout. Ultimately, though, I am forced to be skeptical about any of Barbara's claims, as there is simply no evidence to support any of them, and there are so many lies.
Mythical Rocket has a YouTube channel where they type and show how fast they type and shit like that. 305 words per minute for 15 seconds, world record.
That everything becomes suspicious. This doesn't appear to be entirely Barbara's fault, however. I don't doubt that she probably embellished the truth and overstated her speed, but the real culprits here are Guinness for putting her in the book in the first place, and the people who spread false claims without ever doing their due diligence. Never trust what you read without fact-checking for yourself. People always make mistakes, or even worse, intentionally lie in order to create a false...
Anyways, so Bert basically lied about this, and I thought it was interesting that this is all based on a lie as well. And it was just such a weird thing to lie about. Like, what? You're like showing up the people in your chat by lying. But anyways, here's how his show started on November the 6th. This is what got him reported to the sheriff's department.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Burt Lynch Show. Shadow is refusing to come on camera. Oh, well, that's what happens when you give cats the right to vote. I tried. I shot over there just as we were getting going, and the next thing you know, he's making me chase him. It's a game to him. He likes it. Hey, Mikey, he likes it. There's a air conditioning noise from another apartment that I can't stop. I don't know if you guys hear it, but it's ridiculous. Fortunately, it doesn't last long. Heater noise, maybe. It's cold outside for here. Anyway, it's like 67 degrees. What's the temperature in Las Vegas?
By the way, all our snow's gone, and we're supposed to warm back up to the 60s by the weekend, so I'm excited. I got work to do. And I fucking hate working outside in the cold.
And we had a high today of 78, that's November in Las Vegas. So here we are. Hi, everybody. And I know I'm running late tonight. There's much I could do about it, but I wanted to come on.
That's right. The crackle in his lungs matches the crackle in his audio.
Christine says she joined the fan group, and it's just waiting for approval. Wasn't sure if you saw my request. It's under Carly. I haven't, but Edith T runs that group, and she's in the chat, so I'm sure she sees you right now.
The Burt Lynch fan group over on Facebook. There's 6 people in it.
Saying that very thing. You got a little noise there, and I need to get some fader and pot cleaner for the mixing console, I believe. That's going to be the next purchase on my studio maintenance requirements. Let's see here. These pots are getting a little bit dirty. Anyway, here we are. Let me go ahead and look in the chat and see who's here. We've got a lot to cover tonight, and I know, like I said, I'm getting started a little bit late, a lot late, an hour late or more. But hey,
you'll get to it eventually.
So we'll figure it out. Let me see. We have someone new in the room. Chargers R1 says, good evening to Burt, Shadow, and chat. So welcome to the room. Also, Paige Turner is here and saying hello to myself and Shadow. I hear him. I hear his bell. I hear you down there. There he is. He's right there. Oh, he just got away. I almost caught him. You do that again. You walk by here again, I'll get you, boy. I'll get you. Yes, I will. He's right there. Come here. Come here.
Well, I swear we're about there. I didn't remember it taking this long.
My name is Andrew, and I can...
Oh, shit.
Come here, baby. Nope. Not coming. Go away. I don't want you up here. Nope. Don't come around. I don't want you up here. Nope. I don't want you up here. You cannot come up here. You can't come get up right here. No, you don't do it. All right, come on. He's just sitting there looking at me, just wagging his tail. All you care is I'm giving you attention, because I've been nose first in the computer for the last 3 hours. He hates it when I do that. All right, let's go to work. Y'all do me a favor.
All right, let's do it.
Check out the logo just for a second.
Okay, logo time. Asian Donny Osmond. Got it.
I'm back. So, let me turn a few knobs, press a few buttons. I felt you. Go by me. See, as soon as I look away from him, he comes over and bumps me with his head and then runs past me. He's a real smart guy. You're a piece of work, you know that? All right. Now you can't come in. Let's go ahead and check out the chat room and see who's here and what everybody's having to say. Where are the chatters? Hello, Edith and Charger. Top Mom is here.
Legend of Pretzelda just resubscribed for 37 months. Burt made me do it. BBW, I typed this faster than his ex.
Probably. Unless he's bragging about it, then you lost. Okay, she subscribed for 38 months and typed out the message faster. Okay? She subscribed for 1.6 million months. Thank you very much. A month over 3 years. Thank you very much for resubscribing. I appreciate it.
She's saying hi to everybody. Time change is messing up everybody. I know it. It's 5 o'clock. When it got to 5 o'clock, it was completely dark outside. I hate it.
We're definitely getting close now.
And I see that Truth Be Told today has something to say about that. Apparently doing away with daylight savings time would require Congress to repeal the Uniform Time Act of 1966. And obviously, Congress can't agree on anything these days. They already did that. They did that in Trump's last term. And all it took was for them to send it to the...
Inflation is destroying your savings.
Damn it,
but silver have protected wealth for thousands of years. Smart Americans are buying physical gold and silver, real assets you can hold in your hand, not just...
to Trump's desk, and they didn't do it. It's kind of ridiculous, to be honest with you, that it hasn't been brought back up. But it was supposed to be brought back up, like I said, in Trump's first term. And it's not been mentioned. But, look at what's going on. Congress is not even in. They're shutting down airports, folks. I mean, look, people are, if you're planning on taking a trip, and I have a dear friend that is going to be traveling next week, and I'm just concerned that there's going to be problems. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see about that. But yeah, Congress ain't going to do nothing on our behalf right now. Nothing. So we have... we don't have a whole lot of viewers as opposed to last night. I'll tell you, I don't know if I'm going to get into this or not.
This must be about me. He doesn't know if he should get into it or not. You shouldn't. You should never get into it about me, ever.
But I'm just going to say this. There's a guy who I live rent-free in his head. He's obsessed with me. He just can't stop. And did an hour.
By the way, I didn't even know this happens until days after. But Bert watches my show every night.
On this show last night, over on his show. And all I got to say to you, Will, is you're an immature, childish, self-absorbed idiot.
Easy now. Easy. My wife watches this. I don't want her to divorce me.
Okay. Folks, I'll give you an example. I'm not going to go over there and play it for you, but because it's ridiculous, I'm not going to give him the airtime. From like a year ago or 2 years ago, I was doing the show from a hotel room.
Yeah, I didn't go look it up, okay? It was on the Burt Lynch Truth page, and we were just scrolling through your lies.
And somebody mentioned something about typing quickly or being able to type. I think they said they typed 60 words a minute, whatever. And here's the problem with Will Bird and his retarded audience.
Okay.
They take everything literally, and they make a big deal out of absolutely nothing. This fucking idiot.
Now, chat, we all saw it. We all watched it. We all saw it. Was he being sarcastic with like, my girlfriend types 1 million words per minute? Was he being sarcastic, or was he making a factual claim that was better than the person in the chat? It was 100% a factual claim. Now, he went on to come out and say it sounded like a freight train, blah, 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 whatever, right? To make a simile about it. But he was making a factual claim.
Heard me say, yeah, I had a girlfriend that used to type 200 words a minute or some crazy thing. Maybe more, I don't know. And she was so good at typing that she got a job as a medical transcriptionist for a heart. I didn't think in that clip I said heart doctor, but he was like the #1 heart surgeon in all of Sarasota, Florida. Big deal. And she was his medical transcriptionist. He would get on the thing and talk about his patients. You couldn't even understand it. It didn't even sound like English. How the hell she could do it, I don't know. But she typed away so fast. I think I made the comment, sound like a freight train going through my house when she would bring her work home with her. Because she brought this recording device.
I think he said, I mentioned freight train because he did in this video, but I think he said it was like a bunch of horses or something, a herd of horses.
That device with a foot pedal. And she sat there.
The best doctor there is. The best heart doctor. The best typist. The best girlfriend.
And there were no computers then. It was a freaking typewriter. So what does Will Bird do? He spends 30 minutes on that one comment. Bert's a liar.
He just said I spent an hour. Now I spent 30 minutes. He'll say hour again in a minute.
He's a liar. Listen to him. Nobody types 200. The world record for the Guinness Book of World Records woman who was proved to be wrong. They went out and found clips, and he played clips of her on David Letterman. What a stupid, worthless piece of shit you are, Will Bird.
Who knew? Who knew he would get this upset about his fake girlfriend and the fake claim? Who knew?
Take that and smoke that in your damn vape. But they're obsessed with me. And he goes,
It's all I think about. It's all I think about. Sometimes it takes me a week to find out what you said because I'm so obsessed with you.
His audience is mostly made up of people who hate him that are my followers. So you should be grateful that I cover you. I don't care about you.
Yeah, you should be. It's hate watches, and you're welcome. You don't have to thank me. You should. You should thank me, but you don't have to. I'm not going to make you.
Cover me, you jackass. I am not half the warrior I was in my prime, but I'm still a warrior.
Still a warrior. Face paint and everything.
And if it's the last thing I do, you and I are going to meet face to face, and I'm going to whoop your ass.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. You're going to do what to my ass? Oh, my God. See how I've been walking on eggshells, chat? For the last 4 days, 5 days, I've been tiptoeing around on eggshells. I mean, I didn't know this clip existed until earlier today, but I could feel it in the air. I could feel it around me. I knew something had gone awry.
Now, you can go ahead and laugh about that and put that on your show.
Okay. Thanks for permission. Thank you, Bertrude. I appreciate it.
That's the last I'm going to say about that son of a bitch.
That's the last he's going to say about me. That's it. Over and done with. We won't be talking about that anymore. It's the last I've got to say about it. Except immediately after.
If I'm so insignificant.
A round of applause for the millisecond it took for me to get back on Bert's mind. That's the last I'm going to say about it. Let me tell you one more thing. Hold on, let me back up.
Significant about that and put that. You and I are going to meet face to face, and I'm going to whoop your ass.
Whoop your ass.
Now, you can go ahead and laugh about that and put that on your show. And that's what I'm going to say about that son of a bitch.
That's it. No more.
If I'm so insignificant, why do you spend so much time on it? I tell you, man, it's hilarious. And here's the thing about these keyboard warriors and these podcast warriors. They say things to people when they...
And we're never going to talk about it again, ever.
Think they're never going to meet them in person.
Uh-oh.
Hey, baby.
He's so mad. Look at this chat. He's so mad. Look at what would be his right hand, screen left. It's shaking. Because I said he lied about his girlfriend's typing speed. Bert, if you want to know, I don't know what disconnect you have. If you really want to know why I do it, if you really want to get down into what makes the fucking gears turn in this elaborate machine we've got going on, it's your reaction. I spilled the beans. It's your reaction. If you didn't have these colossal fucking meltdowns, I wouldn't have shit to cover, bro. Watch his right hand. It'll be screen left right here.
About these keyboard warriors and these podcast warriors. They say things to people when they think they're never going to meet them in person.
Look at it shaking right there. I understand he was moving his hands. When he stops moving his hands right before he talks to the guy, it's going, he's shaking. He's just watch again.
About these keyboard warriors and these podcast warriors. They say things to people when they think they're never going to meet them in person.
Right there.
Hey, baby.
It's shaking. Like, how could you be that mad over a girlfriend you made up and a claim about her you made? Jesus fucking Christ. He's not done. You'll see why I had to work with the local sheriff's department to get this police sketch done. There's more to the story.
Yep. He rolled over and he went one of these. He got in guard position. He was.
By the way, last time we're ever going to talk about Will Bird, I'm talking about the cat now.
Yeah, these keyboard warriors act like they're never going to meet.
Oh, we're back on it.
Person that they're bitching about in person. And, he thinks because I'm in Las Vegas and he's out in Tennessee that I don't ever make it over to Tennessee. But I've been there many, many times. I used to live right outside of Nashville. That's
right beside me. Nashville is literally right beside me. I could spit and hit Nashville from here. You're on my trail.
And, he thinks because I'm in Las Vegas and he's out in Tennessee that I don't ever make it over to Tennessee. But I've been there many, many times. I used to live right outside of Nashville. I have a lot of friends there. I'm Sozo says he's a piece of crap, and you're right. I don't think any of your supporters like him. I know I don't.
Yeah.
I say that. Every time there's a new person in the room, my antennas go up, and I welcome those new people like Charger. I welcome you. And if you're over here,
but his antenna's up.
If you're here to be a real,
his antenna's all bricked up. Every time a new person comes into chat, he's bricked up, baby.
Fair-minded person. Again, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt in your favor, not against you, until you prove me wrong. And then that's how it's going to have to work. Why Wilbur needs to do shows on me is because he doesn't prepare for shows. His audience.
You caught me. I've never prepared for a show before, ever. It's all off the cuff. Every bit of it.
And then that's how it's going to have to work. Why Wilbur needs to do shows on me is because he doesn't prepare for shows. His audience members, these sick, obsessed ne'er-do-wells with no life who sit and make up memes about little old me. 1,000 views a night on a show. A total, when it's all over and said and done, right now there's 70 people watching the show live. And according to him, 50 of them are his people. Well,
according to him, 50 of them are his people. There's the title. That's right. It slipped out. Sorry.
The case. Then welcome to some sanity. Welcome to some patriot.
So he's thanking you guys for showing up.
1,000 views a night on a show. A total, when it's all over and said and done, right now there's 70 people watching the show live. And according to him, 50 of them are his people. Well, if that's the case, then welcome to some sanity. Welcome to some patriot.
You're welcome.
Welcome to somebody who loves his country. Welcome to a show of somebody who's going to be fair.
Okay.
Welcome to a show where someone is not obsessed with another podcast.
Welcome to another show where I'm going to repeat memes that were sent to me through Facebook Messenger.
Sure. And somebody who's...
He did not say... I think his words just went together. I don't think he would know that far back, Dr. J.
Say what's on his mind. That's who I am.
We're still not done, by the way. We're 15 minutes in. Still not done. It's been 5 minutes since he said he was never going to talk about me again.
Niecy is here. Hello from Iowa, and Snazzy Granny's just joined us. So anyway, that's what happened last night. I went over and watched it. I got an email, not an email, but a text.
I went over there and watched it. I got an email, text message exchange, and they told me, they said that Will Bird's talking about you, Bert, and I couldn't help it.
Message. Will's got you on the show again. I went, look, he did an hour or more. He opened the show with me.
By the way, what was the last time frame he gave? What was the last time frame he gave about me having him on my show? It's 30 minutes. So we went an hour, and we went 30 minutes, then we went an hour.
And spent an hour on it. Not an email, but a text message. Will's got you on the show again. I went, look, he did an hour or more. He opened the show with me and spent an hour on it. Criticizing everything, playing clips from 2 and 3 years ago and criticizing every word I said.
Yep, I scrolled through the Burt Lynch Truth page. It's got some goodies. It's got some goodies.
You know, if I said a word out of line, if I said an improper sentence, oh my God, it's time to have a heart attack. It's a liar.
No, he's trying to play it. He's trying to play it cool, right? I'm just going to laugh about it. I'm cool. I'm not upset about it. Wait till you see how upset he is about it.
All I got to say, buddy, is I wish you would say that shit to my face. Because you won't.
All I got to say, buddy, is I wish you'd shit in my face. He's playing it off, but then he's grinding his teeth. Like he's trying to play it off as he's laughing. Then he goes to fucking grinding his teeth, making threats.
It's time to have a heart attack. It's a liar.
Doesn't bother me.
I gotta say, buddy, is I wish you would say that shit to my face. And Wednesdays when I show up in a disguise and walk onto your little campground and walk up to you and you're not even gonna know it's me till I knock you on your ass and take that disguise off and say, surprise, motherfucker.
So let me get this straight. You're going to sneak to Tennessee, stealthily make your way to the campground in a disguise, and then sucker punch me. You won't even know it's me till I knock you on your ass. Make you feel like a big man, Bert. What the fuck? You won't even. I'll be in a full. So I have worked with the local sheriff's department, and this is what we've come up with. Okay, had a forensic sketch artist, and this has been distributed, Bert. It's a full bolo out. Okay, they know. I did report to the sheriff's department, but I didn't exactly include the picture. Anyways, he's gonna stealthily make his way to the airport. Fly in to Tennessee unbeknownst to me. I don't know how he's going to get the ticket, but he'll find it somehow. Then he's going to make his way to the campground in full disguise. I won't even know what hit me before I orgasm. I mean, fall down or whatever. Who talks like this? Oh, yeah? You think you're bad? You think you're bad? Wait till I dress up like a California showgirl. And then I happen to be at the bar table dancing where you consume a beverage on Friday night. Like, what the fuck? What do you mean a disguise? What is this? To be fair, Bert, I don't blame you. I figure one day I'll die in Tennessee. And if that's what you want to do, die in the mountains of Tennessee, I can make that happen. But, I mean, it's up to you. I'm going to sneak in a disguise. What would be, Bert, let's say this happens, okay? And let's say you do go to the paranoid veteran with PTSD in a disguise. And let's say he always has on him what he always has on him, okay? I pull out the fucking musketool and end your life. Or let's just say I hit you. Let's say I don't end your life. What's your defense? What's your excuse for being where I live in a disguise to attack me? Well, he said my ex-girlfriend doesn't type 200 words per minute. Sir, you're dressed like a woman who entered a beauty pageant. Yeah, but you don't understand. This guy's really mean on the internet. So you went with the full ball gown? Let's listen to it one more time. I'm enjoying it so far. Surprise, motherfucker!
All I gotta say, buddy, is I wish you would say that shit. It's to go. And criticizing every word I said. You know, if I said a word out of line, if I said an improper sentence, oh my God, it's time to have a heart attack. It's a liar. All I gotta say, buddy, is I wish you would say that shit to my face, because you won't. And one of these days, when I show up in a disguise and walk onto your little campground and walk up to you, and you're not even gonna know it's me until I knock you on your ass and take that disguise off and say, "Surprise, motherfucker." Sorry, ladies, I didn't mean to talk that way.
So not only is he going to show up in a disguise and sucker punch me, afterwards he's going to get naked and then yell surprise. Hell, I might think it's a surprise birthday party, Bert. I don't know. Look how worked up he is. He can't even think. He's still shaking.
I apologize for that word. I never should have said that word.
Never should have said motherfucker.
We're going to get on with the news because there's a lot of it.
Now he's like, look how quirky I am. Nothing bothers me. The news. I'm so quirky. I'm not tore all to pieces over Will Bird talking about my typist ex-girlfriend. You're fucking unhinged, dude. Fucking unhinged. Wait till I show up in a disguise. Put in the chat what you think Bert's disguise would be. I've got my own guesses. I'm not going to reveal them right now because I hate to give away too much tactical information. But put in the chat what's Bert going to dress up as for his disguise. By the way, all of that was brought to you by the Bert Lynch Truth Page. Let's go there. The Bert Lynch Truth Page. Well, Bert was also called out again. And I want to see if you guys noticed something in this video. Bert got called out by a person named Tracy Ellis, okay? Basically, Bert claims that this person offered him a job. I'll show you the clip, and then we'll come back and read this. Let's see if I can get the clip to play. You tell me if you know a Vegas showgirl, Asian Donny Osmond, Sasquatch Alex Jones, Spy versus Bert. All right, hold on. I got to get some audio. All right, here we go.
Information I was able to pull together for you. And this is coming from another reliable source. Tracy Ellis is a radio station owner in the Appalachia area. She's in Missouri. They actually kind of offered me a gig over there, but they wanted me to move there. I can't do that. So here's who has voted.
They offered you a job as a radio host if you'd moved to Missouri?
It says that Senator Jackie Rosen, who is from Nevada, makes 60. And that's enough to move towards the reopen.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think that never happened.
Of Illinois. Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire. Tim Kaine from Virginia. August King, which is Minnesota, I guess that is. Cortez Masto in Nevada.
What is it? Press E to doubt.
Las Vegas. I know Jackie Masto. I know Cortez Masto is Nevada.
Let's do it again. Tell me what you notice here.
Information I was able to pull together for you. And this is coming from another reliable source. Tracy Ellis is a radio station owner in the Appalachia area. She's in Missouri. They actually kind of offered me a gig over there, but they wanted me to move there. I can't do that. So
you can't do that.
It says that Senator Jackie Rosen, who is from Nevada, makes 60. And that's enough to move towards the reopen. She joins Dick Durbin of Illinois, Maggie Hassan from New Hampshire, Tim Kaine from Virginia.
So he makes his claim.
Which is...
He makes this claim about this person, Tracy Ellis. Okay. Now, Tracy Ellis responds, by the way, Bert just said that Missouri is part of the Appalachians. So if anybody's donating a sock, see if we can get a print that's got a U.S. map on it. Okay. She owns a radio station in Appalachia in the state of Missouri. I don't know about that. So Tracy Ellis gets tagged in this or hears it or something and says, why did you go on your show last night and say we were good friends or that I offered you a show if you were willing to move to Missouri? I have never had a conversation with you in my life. And if we did, I certainly do not recall. I also have the messages with you on Facebook Messenger, which are minimal, and me saying I had never listened to your show. One of your producers or someone reached out to me a couple of years ago about having you on our stations. Maybe it was you. I'm not sure. And I told whoever it was that we focus on local M through F, Monday through Friday, which means people located in Missouri. Oh, local male and female, maybe, which means people located in Missouri. It was as simple as that. So please make sure you're being accurate if you mention our names. They did not want to be mentioned by Bert. There's another clip attached to it, too. Someone said, I figured it was a lie. He couldn't even remember the name of the person he spoke with. Typical Bert, trying to make himself sound more important. So he tries to justify this. He tries to justify this lie and say, oh, I forget who told me. But just listen. That's this clip.
It came to me through a third party who said, Ellis is a good friend of yours. She didn't actually physically offer me a job. It came to me through a third party who said...
so someone called him out here and said, well, you said she was a friend of yours and that she offered you a job, but she's saying no job and she's not a friend of yours. So listen.
Ellis is a good friend of yours. She didn't actually physically offer me a job. It came to me through a third party who said she's interested, but you would have to move out here. I'm trying to remember who it was, the third party that told me. Goodness, I don't remember now. But it was somebody in the Missouri area that I know.
Imagine that. So, yeah, she did offer me a job. It wasn't a direct offer. It was like a third party offer. And then I'm trying to remember who that person, I don't know, probably somebody that lives near or in or around the Appalachian, Missouri area.
Ellis is a good friend of yours. She didn't actually physically offer me a job. It came to me through a third party who said she's interested, but you would have to move out here. I'm trying to remember who it was, the third party that told me. Goodness, I don't remember now. But it was somebody in the Missouri area that I know. So, Ellis is a good friend of yours. She didn't actually physically offer me a job.
Imagine that. He can't remember who gave it to him, when it happened, what it was about. He can't remember anything about it. But someone did it. He just can't remember any of the details, and it definitely wasn't the person he said did it. I figured it was a lie. He couldn't even remember the name of the person he spoke with. Typical Bert, trying to make himself sound important. I love when he gets caught in his lies and someone calls him out. Now, I hope all his followers see this before he deletes it because he got caught. Busted again. He did delete this. So this was her posted on his page. It's not like a private message. You can actually post on someone else's page. And it was up because, and it's not now because the only one that's up now is a thing wishing him happy Veterans Day. Again, what a weird thing to lie about. He could have just said, like, I found this on Tracy Ellis's page. Tracy Ellis is like a right-wing, I'll show you her page. It's like right-wing media stuff. Like, he could have, what a weird thing to lie about. Again, it's this page. And she posts a lot about, so it says realtor, sales associate, something, radio. It mentions their Real Talk 93.3 radio network, 104.3 FM, 107.3 FM. And it's a bunch of right-wing stuff, like right-wing news, articles, and whatever, right? But why do you have to say they offered you a job? Again, it's a weird thing to lie about. Just like when you lied about your girlfriend. Oh, really? I got a girlfriend who typed 200 words per minute. They also changed, how to make friends and win influence? How to lose rent and influence no one? They've been doing a bunch of funny AI stuff. This is the second time this week Bert has threatened to not come back if someone doesn't pay his bills. Internet this time. Didn't Robert just pay your internet before he went on vacation? Get a job, Bert. Stop scamming people. You have 5 true viewers, and they can't keep supporting you and your bookkeeper.
Let's see if we can find one.
I have not watched it. These are all from Bert Lynch Truth. They do a good job of cataloging most of it. This is how I see most of the Bert stuff when I'm scrolling through Facebook.
I hadn't planned on doing this, but hell, I'll hang out with you guys. It's after midnight anyway. No one's made any donations. You guys will be the last show. I keep saying this, y'all. It's gonna be,
no one's made any donations.
I can't get any donations. But I'm still here trying to entertain y'all. Let's see if we can find one. I hadn't planned on doing this, but hell, I'll hang out with you guys. It's after midnight anyway.
So again, going to be the last show. Which TV show title best fits Bert? Breaking Rent, Survivor, Eviction Island, The Walking Excuse, Unemployment Chronicles. That's pretty funny. Imagine you're writing a dictionary, the word Bert, define it, but you only get one word. When Bert sees Will actually working for donations instead of begging for him. Wow, that's how you do it. That's funny.
Wow.
They do a good job of keeping up with this. I don't watch Bert. I don't tune into Bert. I see these sometimes when I'm scrolling through, and if I have time, there you go. You're a big Christian. The Lord provides for folks who pull themselves up by their bootstraps. Somebody passed Bert a pair of boots. That was a clip of me. Will couldn't even keep a straight face when the artwork is wild. The words aren't needed. Thank you very much for the Bert Lynn Truth page. I like that page. It keeps me happy a lot of the times. Something to sit back and laugh. And Bert threatened what? Bert threatened who? He's going to show up in a disguise. Tell me a normal person that says something and someone says, I don't know if that's true because, documented here, there's no way that's possibly true. And they're like, you just wait, you son of a bitch. I'm going to get a disguise and a plane ticket, and I'm going to sneak to your fucking house. I'll be in full disguise. You won't even recognize me. And I'm going to knock you on your ass. Then I'm going to rip off my disguise and say, surprise, motherfucker. Like, you're not a normal person, bro. What is going on? Sexual frustration? Think that might be it? I don't know. Something's going on, though. Clearly. Anyways, let's check on Upchurch.
Song here is called...
This is Gotcha Man. I love Gotcha Man's channel. He does a really good job.
Raw. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
I can make a country rapper crazy. I can make 2 men out of one to somebody twice your size.
Uh-oh, Adderall.
Well, I've done known to disprove.
God damn, look at that pupil, dude. You think he's going to come as a gorilla? He doesn't know I've got a kink for primates. That pupil is fucking intense, dude.
Well, I've done known that this was all a setup. I got my
Michael's son.
Google Earth. I can dox little kids with my boyfriend Kurt.
Ooh, ooh.
And since the days Anna Mae went to Truckee with her canoe in her hand, I've said from the start it's all about money.
Why you think I'm into your hairy toe knuckles, Mariah?
And Ellen Pass romance. My pupils are doubled, I'm high full. And knowledge, yeah, I've got it all. You had YouTubers doing crime. You wanna gangbang her with me?
Adderall.
Adderall.
Damn.
Lame, but I'm great at deflection. When cornered, I'll lie through my teeth. And also the blind followers that just want something from me. I gave up that boy, an old beater. Thought it could melt go for a kid.
Wait. That was wild. So there's a YouTuber that is named Icked Male. Icked. Instead of Wicked Male, it's just Icked Male. So you see what I'm saying? Icked Male. And he descrambled it, and it said C-E-L, sell, M-E, me, kid. Sell me, kid. And it also descrambles to liquid me. So he deciphers that to sell me a kid because he thinks that this YouTuber that covers crime drama was trafficking children. But all because they covered the Kylie Rodney case and they had a purple light in their background.
And I'll let you come over too if you just agree with everything that I said. Well, since the days Anna Mae went to Truckee with her canoe in her hand,
I like it.
I've been swinging like Ruth at Mama's car too, and solving crimes at a glance. I'm on medicine, but I snort 'em.
Oh.
I can look real tough back by outlaw. I have snorted a few kinds. My mama's been mean to me.
Adderall. I like it. I like it a lot.
Adderall. Since the days Anna Mae went to Truckee, I've said from the start it's all about money and Ellen Pass romance. My pupils are doubled, I'm high full. And knowledge, yeah, I know it all. You had YouTubers doing crimes, you wanna gangbang her with me. Adderall. Adderall.
God damn those pupils, dude.
You're so jealous of.
I've said this before and I'll say it again. I know personally, there are tons of creative types, influencers, musicians, YouTubers, TikTokers that are on Adderall. They feel like they have 40 hours in a fucking day, but it's burning the candle at both ends.
Adderall. I was researching last night. Triangles have got more sides than three.
Triangles that's got more sides than three.
Gadget me. I snorted some Adderall, and now Gotcha Man is after me.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good. Yeah, that's admit, that was pretty good. Do you guys know that something that Gotcha Man never even covered was that when his dad died, I think it's in this video, maybe. When his dad died, Gotcha Man send him donations through his Cash App. I'm sorry, Gagburn sent him donations through his Cash App. That was literally like, from your dad, your dad's in hell and shit like that. Like the day his dad died. Like fucking crazy shit. Let's see if it's in this video. It might be. It's in a video that I've watched.
You know, there's something to it, man. When somebody just sees success, you know what's crazy is I actually started to think that I was just going to completely leave you alone, just based on how successful you have become.
Yeah, we got from a porch light, yeah.
You know, there's something.
Oh, they moved out of the projects, by the way. That's what he's talking about.
Man, when somebody just sees success,
we got golf carts and shit, son. Just stroll on by, son.
You tend to just respect them and leave it alone. Old Daggy. Dude's got porch lights now, and did you say golf carts just strolling on by?
Just stroll on by, son.
Shoo! Can you hear the tune right now? Move it on up. Fucking idiot. Oh man, listen, one of the funniest things I heard too was him reading his chat off, and people said, what's your favorite thing about the house so far? And she shouts off from the back, the peas! You guys realize that's the same thing everybody back at the old Section 8 complex is thinking.
That's true. They were the people that broke the peace.
Right? Back at the old crib, back at the old stomping grounds of the Burns. They're all sitting there just...
I want to see if I can find those screenshots because it's really fucked up because Johnny Gobble always tries to play like the victim, like everybody's attacking him, and he sent some really fucked up shit.
They probably celebrated. Honestly, somebody needs to check on that because I guarantee they probably all came out to the parking lot and just all collectively just had a sigh of relief that the Burns was out of there. But now, what do you guys say we do a good old-fashioned Dagburn video? You down?
Exactly. Don't bet their company, but you can expect me to know that this guy's whole life history.
Ain't no way dude's still on here trying to dodge responsibility and making excuses for having old dude up on your panel, dog. Ain't no way.
I think he had a dude on his panel that did crimes against children.
Still doing, Daggy. Come on, man. You got so much to live for. Turn that porch light on and shine that bright light at them golf carts going by, man. And that scrapyard across the street or whatever. Somebody said allegedly that's what's across.
All kind of shit off of a post that I would never trust. Dumb Easy posting. Nothing they say would I trust their word on it.
Dumb Easy. That's pretty good, man. I tell you what, if this doesn't work out, you could write jokes for other channels. That's a real thing. I've seen people do it all the time, where somebody, they just don't really have, you know, they have the face for radio or whatever, however the joke goes, but I see it all the time, but they're in the background writing jokes for other people because they're so good at it. Dumb Easy, I'd never thought of that. It's pretty clever. But yeah, you're referring to the fact that not only did he warn you about this dude, but then he actually in his community post posted the paperwork. Not just something that, you know, not just hearsay or not just, hey, Daggy, don't do it. And a matter of fact, you put a video up literally the same, like an hour or so after that and was like, look at this.
I went and looked it up. The guy did have the police records before Johnny had him on his panel and said, look, I'm telling you, these are his records. Like,
this paperwork that, shoot, what'd you say, Dumb Easy? Just out of respect for the joke, Chop. You're like, oh, look at this, Dumb Easy put out paperwork and trying to get me to not do this live. Too bad.
Yes, and he made jokes about it, like, this idiot put out the paperwork trying to get me to do a live and laughed about it.
To me, to know shit about
Legos and talking about the Monopoly game that somebody used for a song or something, and then all of a sudden a week later it just came out and blindsided him that the dude had some funny charges about children, when in fact the whole purpose of the video was to prove this dude innocent, right? The premise of the video, listen, and then he would just
let me see if I can find it.
Jump on the back of man. Your whole life, Johnny? Really? That's what we're going to do our whole lives, man. We're going to dodge responsibility. We're going to jump on the back of every...
Like, oh, gotcha. Oh, gotcha. Woo, gotcha. I got your back, bub. They shouldn't have said that, bub.
But that's what we're going to do, and we're going to stay right. People that
it must not be in this video.
Yeah, you see these people, man. It's wicked wild. Wicked wild. You know, I've seen a lot of people that...
It's in one of them that I've watched, though, for sure, because I slowed it down to see it. So it must be one of these newer ones. Maybe this mountains into molehills. Let's see.
Hey, no hate though. We all old dumbass Daggy. This dude is the only dude I know that probably dreams about being able...
I want to say he was in a car when he showed the screenshots.
See me in any way. And by see me, I mean being able to throw a wrench at something I got going on, being able to troll me in any way, being able to just to get to me. This dude hates me so much that he dreams about the day that he'll get a win with me. Hey, no hate though. We all have to have something to dream about, man. Look, I'll give you an example of what I dream about, right? Sometimes I go to my analytics and I look down at that one little section called sound pages and that one or two views that I get. I like to dream, but that's Blind Fury watching me. You know, I'm a huge fan, man, you know? And I always look over and I get a little giggle because the watch time's always really low and I just think, well, he's watching it at like 48 times speed.
Yeah.
Nah, man, Daggy, bro. What are we doing, Daggy? The community wants to see receipts, Chop. The community, the police came to my house before because I was stealing, and so everybody has to be like me and be a junkie thief piece of shit.
I think that's what we need.
Oh, the Burt Lynch fan page, I looked it up, has 45 followers.
That's really what we need from you guys over there on that side.
That's your problem, is you think everybody thinks the way you do. That's exactly what your problem is. You're such a moron, dude, and you run around with these little theories and these little things that you think. And sometimes I think, because I've had a lot of people tell me, nah, man, he don't really believe in shit. So I'm like, yeah, he does, man. Like, this dude really believes the dumb shit that comes out of his mouth, and he thinks that he has something. Like, for the last 3 days...
It's not in this one either.
He forced his wife to say it when she was trying to cook his stupid-ass dinner. Leave her alone, bro.
Hey, you say when that phone call was made, what did Dr. say to us about sending that money back to those people that donated to his truck?
No, he didn't want to, but he had to.
Leave her alone.
I mean...
Yeah, she says, I was there in the living room and everything.
That's what I'm saying. I heard every that conversation that day. I was sitting right there in the living room.
So, listen, this is hilarious, because this is Daddy not only saying...
Anyways, it's not this one either, but we'll move on. He has been covering Ryan Upchurch. Ryan Upchurch is... He's struggling, guys. He's fucking... It wasn't in this video, was it? Ryan Upchurch is not doing well. And all the people around him, he's driven away every one of them. No, it's all right. You guys trust me. Like, he sent $1 donations because that's the minimum you could send. And it was like, from your dad, fuck your dad, shit like that on the day he died. So Johnny Goffles never has been. I know you guys don't believe that, but he tries to play the victim to so many people. He did get out of the projects, though, so good for him. I'm glad. He got to a house instead of the projects. All right, here we go.
I actually cannot believe that it is literally Laura Ingraham and Fox News who have finally done probably one of the best interviews of Trump in the last 4 years. I mean, they really did expose him. He tied himself in knots, and he prosecuted himself in this interview. Maybe because he was more relaxed and he thought he was in a safe.
So even RT is taking little shots at Trump. Trump actually defended H-1B visa holders. Laura Ingraham said, "We have plenty of talented people here." Trump responded, "No, you don't." Even if that's true, why don't we? Right now, the prices are so outrageous that no one can afford for any type of specialized training, and to survive and eat and have a roof over their head. But why aren't we holding companies and telling companies, like, you need to put these people through the training to make them whatever you want, right? Instead of letting them keep H-1B visa holders as modern-day slaves. They pay them shit wages, right? They don't give them any time off and little benefits and shit like that. And then they hold their fucking visa over their head. If you don't do this, we'll have your visa revoked and you'll go back to shithole wherever the fuck you came from.
Safe space, but she did a good job of unraveling what he really believes. And so bad that the Russians are literally mocking him, as Ron Filipkowski points out here, saying that Trump actually defends H-1B visa holders. Let's get to that first. There's a lot of clips here. I want to get into all of them. And here is Donald Trump saying that he, one, believes in H-1B.
And then Laura Ingraham says, we don't have talented people here?
Visas because he does not think Americans are talented.
There's never going to be a country like what we have right now.
And does that
the
mean,
Republicans have to talk about it.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent.
When we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to.
But why don't, like, unless you're saying making some type of race realism argument that only Asian people or Indian people or whatever can be good at this, why don't we have those talented people here? That's a problem that we need to fix without shipping them in, right?
To learn, you can't take people off an unemployment line and say, I'm going to put you into a factory where we're going to make missiles, or I'm going to.
All right, he's going to go and blow up there, but it's incredible that she's like, we don't have talented people here. And he's like, no, you don't.
Just for American workers, you can't flood the country.
Talent.
When we have plenty of talented people here.
No, you don't.
We don't have talented people here.
No, you don't have.
Wow. It only gets worse from there. Now, Tom Nichols here says the most anti-American president in recent history now says that Americans are just too stupid and untalented to do most of the jobs that we're going to need to bring in foreigners to do. I would love to know. I look forward to seeing how MAGA defends this one. It feels kind of indefensible. It's kind of against everything that MAGA supposedly believes in, which is America First principles, whatever that means. But Donald Trump has...
I don't know if you guys remember, but this caused a huge rift. You guys remember back in the day, it was Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy were arguing that Americans couldn't possibly become engineers and shit like that. And the rest of MAGA was like, oh, fuck you, we can do it. It caused a huge rift, and now Trump seems to be on that side of it. The most anti-immigrant president in recent history now says that Americans are just too stupid and untalented to do most of the jobs that we're going to need to bring in foreigners to do. Does that mean H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? You have to bring in talent. By the way, Trump suggested today, I guess, I saw this post. I guess I need to fact check it. Let me do that first before I say anything. You guys watch this.
Where he decides it is. And I kind of wonder if that's true anymore. MAGA might be its own thing divorced of Trump, and we're going to find out soon. I would love to know what Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to say. Now, this is just proof that this man is getting very old. First off, he looks terrible. He looks terrible, but he has the cameras look over into the darkness.
Look at the scene over here, fellas. Look how beautiful is that. Come on over here, take a look.
This is the new Rose Garden. But
and now you can have news. That's the same stone as the White House. So now you can have news conferences. You can, nobody can stand in the mud.
He seems so small, doesn't he? It's so funny. I mean, this is like comedy. Look at the scene, fellas, and it's just darkness.
Look how beautiful is that. Come on over here, take a look.
This is the new Rose
beautiful.
But
and now you can have news. That's the same stone as the White House. So now you can have news conferences. You can, nobody can stand in the mud.
Here's more comedy.
Pretty cool, right?
Where are your speakers? Because I heard this.
All here.
They're in the bushes?
They're all here.
When did you decide you were a frustrated DJ? How long ago was that?
I don't do that.
So it is true. Trump is suggesting that overweight people are going to be denied visas now. Not on need, not on merit, not on approved for family or what. If you're overweight, this fat motherfucker right here, this big back having son of a bitch, says many in the fake news media have claimed that we will begin denying visas to overweight people. They have even come up with a term for these people of high-calorie humans. I've never heard that in my life, but okay. This is totally false. We will not ban all fat people from entering our great country. Only those whose poor health will overburden our healthcare system. Visa applicants who are only slightly overweight have nothing to worry about. The bigger ones will need to trim down to get approved. We will expand this rule to cover expats. An expat is different from an immigrant in the fact that they don't plan on staying. They're like there just to do a job or something for a short amount of time. It says, we will expand this rule to cover expats in the near future. Rosie O'Donnell, you will never return to this great country. Thank you for your attention to this matter. That wouldn't apply to Rosie O'Donnell because she's an expat in someone else's country, by the way, but whatever.
Here's more comedy.
Pretty cool, right?
Where are your speakers? Because I heard this.
All here.
They're in the bushes?
They're all here.
When did you decide you were a frustrated DJ? How long ago was that?
I don't do that much, but I think having good sound is important because we do now news conferences on this face. As you know, you were probably a victim to it. You'd stand in the grass, your high heels would be ruined. The women are, walking out without. So I had to make it a hard surface, so I made it the same color as the White House itself.
Still talking about that. I look forward to when we win the White House again and we get rid of all of this shit. I cannot wait to just throw it all away.
And the Marble Man.
I can't believe Trump of all people is saying it. Like,
you think you could bookmatch your event? He said, yeah, look at the other one over there.
Okay, so this is the bathroom Donald Trump destroyed.
Bookmatch, but look at the quality of that job.
Where do you think you developed the attention to architectural detail? Like, at what age did you start realizing that's what you could do?
Yeah, I was involved with my father in building and all this stuff, and my father was a builder. So as a little boy, I'd be sitting there playing with blocks, I guess, and my father would be on the phone.
I'm just seeing screenshots of it. It's being shared everywhere. It could be fake, but it is in the media that they have been advised. The U.S. State Department issued guidance directing consular officers to deny visas to applicants who are overweight. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell what Trump's real, true social posts are because when he does a really stupid one, he deletes it, which is not supposed to be allowed, but he goes in and deletes it. So it's hard to tell whether they're real or not.
This interview happened a couple of days ago when he was going after Americans who just were trying to pay for food with SNAP benefits. And this is what he was worried about. All right. Donald Trump also, this is what I mean. He tied himself into a knot. he prosecuted the case against himself because he admitted that tariffs make things more expensive. He admitted it on Fox News.
By the way, Trump promised to give out that $2,000 check, tariff check or whatever. And then somebody pointed out to him, like, they're probably going to get rejected from the Supreme Court. And they're going to have to be refunded. So this was Trump's response to that. The U.S. Supreme Court was given the wrong numbers. The unwind in the event of a negative decision on tariffs, which we know he says the word unwind because that was the way the Chief Justice referred to it. How do we unwind this? So it says unwind. Sorry, I lost my place. The unwind in the event of a negative decision on tariffs, so if the Supreme Court rules against them, would be including investments made, to be made, and return of funds in excess of $3 trillion. It would not be possible to ever make up for that kind of drubbing, D-R-U-B-B-I-N-G, drubbing. That would truly become an insurmountable national security event and devastating to the future of our country, possibly non-sustainable. So he's basically putting out there that if the Supreme Court rules against me, which honestly I don't think it's within his power to do this, and if they uphold the law as written, they're going to rule against him, that it could be a security threat and could destroy America potentially. Don't rule against me, you might destroy America. That doesn't make any fucking sense.
News.
I think this. We are doing phenomenally well. This is the greatest economy we've ever had. Their talking points, oh, of course, sorry. By the way,
you can't even spell the word starve. Sure.
The only thing is beef. Beef
coffee
is a little high because the ranchers are doing great.
And you repeated it and can't spell the word starve. You'll get there eventually.
Coffee. She's like, coffee.
Only thing is beef. Beef
coffee
is a little high because the ranchers are doing great. Coffee, we're going to lower some tariffs. We're going to have some coffee come in.
Notice that coffee, we're going to lower some tariffs. I wonder, why are you going to lower tariffs? Why? Because it's what? Too expensive.
Some tariffs. We're going to have some coffee come in. We're going to take care of all this stuff very quickly, very easily. It's surgical. It's beautiful to watch. But our costs are way low.
All right, I have a video. Just so you know, I have a video coming out tomorrow that wonders where all the tariff money goes. Where does the tariff money go? Because Donald Trump says he has invested the tariff money. One, he's not allowed to. Two, where does that go? We're going to talk about that more tomorrow. Now, Donald Trump also said this about affordability.
By the way, how can he say future investments? So he acts like he took this money and already invested it and spent it and put it somewhere. But he's like, investments made, future investments that were going to be made can't be undone. I thought you were just holding on to this money and you were doing nothing with it. And then eventually you were going to give out $2,000 checks and pay down the debt or something, even though you're nowhere near to the amount of debt you've just incurred in the same time period.
But our costs are way lower. Now, Walmart came out with a statement that they do every year for many, many decades. And they said that a Thanksgiving meal costs 25% less this Thanksgiving, coming up, think of that, than it did last Thanksgiving under Sleepy Joe Biden. That's a 25% reduction. I think that's right. And if you remember when I first came in,
just, you know, Walmart was very smart in how that, I guess they just didn't want to piss off Trump. But typically, Walmart will do that using name brands, but they did it with value brands in order to make that cost happen.
The first 2 days I had a news conference, eggs, they were hitting me with eggs. Eggs had quadrupled in price. And they're screaming.
All right, whatever. Okay, and then we have a little bit more here where Donald Trump goes through the Walk of Fame.
Democrat heads will explode in 3, 2, 1.
The new ballroom will go from here to there, and it'll seat a proper number of people, and the White House will finally have, after 150 years, the ballroom that they wanted. You know what? They've waited 150 years, and the public is paying for nothing. The public is paying for absolutely nothing. It's all being done by donors. All the way over there, it'll be beautiful. One of the most beautiful in the world. Come on. Okay? You know, a lot of people don't know that. They don't say that. There's no cost. That's some room over there.
He's so fucking awkward, dude. Trying to be relatable.
I have nothing to say. This is just insanity.
That's beautiful. One of the most beautiful in the world. Come on. Okay? You know, a lot of people don't know that. They don't say that. There's no cost. That's some room over there.
That's unbelievable.
It's so weird.
I have nothing to say. This is just insanity. That's just insanity. And I guarantee you, I can't prove it, but if past is predictive of the present, I would like to know how that money being donated to the ballroom Is it all being spent in the ballroom? Donald Trump taking some of that money? Could be. I would bet on he probably is. I'd bet on that. All right, well, that's all I got. I mean,
all right. Someone also sent me this. I don't think this is a thing we currently need to worry about, but we're going to cover it anyways.
Breaking news out of Washington, the Trump administration is asking states to cancel food stamp benefits for the month of November, including states that have already sent money to SNAP recipients on their EBT card.
So it says the Trump administration demands that states undo work to send full food stamps to low-income families. This is fucked up, okay? This is fucked up. I can't say it's not. It is. The Trump administration, basically, a judge ordered them to pay food stamps. Some states had already paid. Some states started to pay. All that, right? And then the judge come back and said, no, not partial. You're going to pay full. Trump went to appeal it. When Trump administration went to appeal it, they sent out a memo to the states saying, hey, undo it. Undo it. We're appealing this case right now. Undo it. Take the money back. Claw it back. Whatever. We're appealing this. We don't have to do this. But I think we're safe now because not only the Supreme Court issued a stay. Basically, a stay is, we're not probably going to hear it right now, but the order should not be enforced until the appeal process has its time to work through the case. That appeal process was denied. Not to mention the government's on the verge of opening back up. So is this a fucked up thing for the administration to do? Absolutely. What do you mean undo it? What do you mean you're not going to pay? What do you mean fucking fuck you, you piece of shit? It's food stamps. But is this something you have to actually worry about that they're not going to go out this month? I don't think so. They're going to be in limbo for a while. They're going to get paid. I think everything's going to be taken care of. It's just the Trump administration shouldn't have even asked this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all?
Stephen Miller is in charge at the White House because it is certainly not Donald Trump, not just because of his obvious cognitive and physical decline, but also because he can't stay awake at press conferences throughout the day. Donald Trump is just constantly dozing off. So, of course, there would have to be a shadow president, but I expected that shadow president, Stephen Miller, to stay in the shadows, not to be boasting about his new role. But that is exactly what is happening, as Stephen Miller has essentially revealed the health crisis unfolding with Donald Trump right now. We are going to get into it and all of the chaos in the White House. But before we do, if I could quickly ask you to leave a like on this video, and if you haven't already and you enjoy our channel, to hit that subscribe button because it goes a long way in supporting our work. Now, before we get into what Stephen Miller said, what he leaked about Donald Trump's deteriorating health, I want to start with a pretty funny ad from our friends at Midas Touch.
Perfect shot. Perfect shot, guys.
Really mean about Donald Trump.
The president was checked out of his job for quite some time, and everybody knows it. And it was a cover-up. The people around him were using. They would give him scripts to point him literally in the direction. Stand.
What would you most want me to know about your experience? What can we do to help you? Something safely? Do you blank see something effective? Resources, ideas? I hear you. That's what Trump. So this is Mike Johnson, I'm sure, talking about Biden, but they've cut it with clips of Trump being Trump.
They would point him literally in the direction. Stand here, sir. Wave like this. And he didn't know what he was signing.
So this is an executive order on flag.
AOC should have taken the cognitive test immediately and live streamed that motherfucker.
Burning. So there's all sorts of just incredible implications.
And Crockett. Crockett's a goddamn lawyer.
Novel or something, but this is reality. He pardoned categories of violent criminals and turned them loose on the streets.
He is pardoning some 1,500 January 6 rioters who have been convicted for participating in the attack on the Capitol 4 years ago.
The January 6 rioter who was pardoned by President Trump has been arrested and charged with making...
The worst thing that the administration can try to do is try to move to vacate Joe Biden's pardons, right? That's not something we typically tackle. Usually the presidential power of pardon is above scrutiny and whatever. If they move to vacate Joe Biden's pardons, they may be having fun now, but wait till a fucking Democrat, because they've committed real crimes, and they're going to pardon themselves before they leave office, 100%. Wait till someone else gets in charge.
Making a credible death threat against Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries.
You can't allow a president to check out and have unelected, unaccountable, faceless people making massive decisions for the country.
Yeah, Mike, it sounds like you're describing Donald Trump, which every word of that is true about Donald Trump. This is a person who has always been fundamentally disinterested in governing. Just look at what he said last night to Laura Ingraham.
Mary Trump took the cognitive test, that was saying.
So absurd, in fact.
We took it on the stream.
Donald Trump hated about his new 50-year mortgage plan. That even Laura Ingraham of the Fox propaganda outlet was pushing back against Donald Trump. And why I bring that up, of course, is an idiotic idea. You could propose that just being stupid without having cognitive decline. But it shows Donald Trump doesn't actually have any real interest in the governing aspect of being president. Why is Donald Trump so focused on his ballroom? Why is he so focused on ugly gold signs around the White House? It is because it allows him to act like he's doing something.
Right. It's a show of how impressive he is and the stuff that he can get done. I think Stephen Miller is fucking running the White House. People from inside the White House has basically come out and said that.
Leave lasting change, which the next Democratic president better tear down right away without actually having to do the job, because Donald Trump doesn't want to do the job. Donald Trump is also not entrusted to do the job. Project 2025 outlined that it would be Russ Vought, that it would be Stephen Miller, there would be everyone but Trump running his White House. And now that's the case. And they're having to cover up the fact that that is the case. Even Carolyn Levitt, when asked about Donald Trump's recent health screenings, had to do just that.
Why did President Trump get an MRI during his recent visit to Wall Street? Look, as President Trump said, he would inquire with the physicians. I'll check back on that. But as the physical itself stated, Kristen, and as you all know, because you were all witness to it, every single day the president is in optimal physical health. This was a follow-up appointment, and we provided a detailed readout of that physical. I'm happy to give it to you again, and I can inquire further. With all due respect, an MRI is a very specific procedure. It's done on a part of the body looking for something specific, so it's not generally part of any kind of routine checkup. And in addition, President Trump has said that he wants to be transparent. He has told us as the doctors, which we have and have not heard back. Why don't we have more information on this? As I said, I'll check back for you.
One of the lies that upsets me most that Levitt tells, and anyone who watches this show regularly knows what I'm talking about, is this idea that it is the most transparent administration in history. No one more transparent than us. And what they mean by transparency is that they respond to questions. They certainly do not answer them. And there's a big difference between responding and answering. Carolyn Levitt being asked about an MRI and saying, oh, I don't know. That's certainly a response to the question, but she's not answering it. But what we do know is all former White House physicians, all former White House doctors, really any medical expert is confused and concerned about Donald Trump. Concerned in the way that they don't know what's going on, not that they necessarily want him to prolong his... Well, you know what I mean by that. I'm not going to say it, because at any moment, Cash Patel and his buddies at the FBI could bust through that door for simply me suggesting something that I'm not, and I'm waiting there suggesting, of course I am. But Donald Trump is in cognitive decline. Donald Trump is deteriorating. Donald Trump is having that all covered up by everyone except the guy who's running the show. Because look at what Stephen Miller recently said. Stephen Miller's flippant comment sparks alarm as Trump's seen sleeping. Who is in charge? A Democratic analyst reviewed signs that Donald Trump may not be running the White House during a podcast on Monday. Simone Sanders Townsend, a political strategist and host of MSNBC's The Weeknight, joined Joanna Coles of the Daily Beast on the outlet's self-titled podcast, where the two discussed a recent press conference where Trump reportedly fell asleep for 20 minutes. Sanders said that the incident, among others, has made her question who's actually running the White House. And brought up the question again about what the actual apparatus at this White House is and who's actually in charge here, because that can't be the first time the president fell asleep. So when that happens, who is making the decisions? Townsend also pointed out that Trump has appeared at bill ceremonies where he seemed to be unaware of the bills he was being asked to put his name to. When the president was doing these public signings of these executive orders, and then they come in and they explain to him what the executive order is, and he's like, oh, okay, yeah. I wonder, is that the first time you heard this? Townsend continued. Did the president not get it? Did the president sign off on this in advance? Who is signing off on the particulars of what is happening in this White House? I harken back to Stephen Miller a couple of weeks ago doing interviews with reporters, and he was using terms like I and we. She added, when I worked at the White House, it is not I or we, it is the president and the vice president. You serve at the pleasure of the president. And so we're using I statements. Are you the one making the decision, Stephen Miller, about these strike force teams? She asked. How much aware is the president of what is going on? These are questions I think they deserve to be asked. I think they deserve to be asked these questions as well, because while the Supreme Court has said that Donald Trump has been afforded sweeping immunity to commit all the crimes that he likes, and boy, has he taken advantage of that. Stephen Miller isn't. Stephen Miller can be held accountable. This does not, of course, mean that Donald Trump can't. A little bit harder, and it seems like our justice system doesn't like to hold Donald Trump accountable for the crimes that he commits. Maybe we should send Merrick Garland to the moon next time we need to prosecute Donald Trump. But Pete Hegseth can. Certainly Pam Bondi can. I said Cash Patel, Stephen Miller, all of these goons, they can be held accountable. They certainly can, because they've been breaking the law, and behind the scenes, they've been running the show. And it makes you think back to the beginning of this Trump administration. Before he was even sworn in, when he was picking his cabinet, he was doing so focused on who could do well on TV. Because while Donald Trump loves the cameras, he loves the attention, he needed media faces of the administration. He needed people out there who were telegenic. And why? Because Donald Trump knew there was going to be a lot less Donald Trump on the scene. That he, as much, again, as he loves the attention, wasn't going to be able to keep up with it, because he needed his little naps, he needed Big Mac time, and he needed to go, I don't know, whatever, like a horse stimulant they put in him, it's got to be something. They're shooting him up with something. I don't know what it is. Maybe he stole a little bit of Don Jr.'s, his little nose clams, or whatever it is he enjoys in his free time. But yeah, Donald Trump isn't running the show. And I think that talking about his weakness is a smart political strategy. Donald Trump, in many ways, is dealing with a lot of the public pushback that Joe Biden was at this point. Not even this point, a much later point in his administration. Donald Trump last night did something that we saw Joe Biden do, of course, under different economic conditions. At the end of the Biden presidency, people were still feeling the effects of inflation. The economy was obviously getting better, but people were still hurting. And Joe Biden, as Donald Trump did last night, often pointed to the fact that he said the stock market was up, other economic indicators were strong. And certainly the Biden economy at the end of his presidency wasn't nearly as bad as Donald Trump's is right now. It was good, it was on the up and up. Right? Inflation was coming down, economic indicators were pointing up, and it still wasn't really reflected in people's lives who felt the effects of higher prices. Donald Trump is doing the same thing right now with a much worse economy. He's saying, well, the stock market is up, and I'm happy in tariff revenue, but it doesn't do anything for working people who are taxed by these tariffs. And that is what Donald Trump said. And in the same way, Donald Trump is also dealing with this perception of weakness. Now, of course, a lot of the narrative around Joe Biden's supposed cognitive decline, which isn't real, but is true in Donald Trump, was clips taken out of context, stories being written about what sneakers he was wearing. Donald Trump now can fall asleep before our very eyes, and Jake Tapper doesn't give a fuck, because it doesn't really seem like he's a real journalist at this point. But Donald Trump is dealing with the same two key issues, and he's not responding any better. In fact, he's responding worse. So I would say, if you're a Democrat, maybe take advantage of that. Maybe take advantage of the fact that Donald Trump's a big pile of pudding, both inside and out. I just think that that's good messaging. especially when the man with deteriorating health is deteriorating your health care. Talk about it. Bernie Sanders certainly is right here.
Tonight, 8 Democrats voted with the Republicans to allow them to go forward on this continuing resolution. And to my mind, this was a very, very bad vote. What it does, first of all, is it raises healthcare premiums for over 20 million Americans by doubling, in some cases tripling or quadrupling. People can't afford that when we're already paying the highest prices in the world for healthcare. Number two, it paves the way for 15 million people to be thrown off of Medicaid. And the Affordable Care Act studies show that will mean that some 50,000 Americans will die every year unnecessarily. And all of that was done to give $1 trillion in tax breaks to the 1%. As everybody knows, just on Tuesday, we had an election all over this country. And what the election showed is that the American people want us to stand up to Trumpism, to his war against working class people, to his authoritarianism. That is what the American people wanted, but tonight, that is not what happened. So we've got to go forward, do the best that we can to try to protect working class people, to make sure that the United States not only does not throw people off of health care, but ends the absurdity of being the only major country on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to all people. We've got a lot of work to do.
We should be hammering these messages all of the time, and we're going to. Tomorrow, we are seeing that leaders in the House Democrats are going to make sure that there is an amendment voted on for this continuing resolution to extend the Obamacare subsidies 3 years. Republicans will have to give an up or down vote on that, and of course they will vote it down. Then hold that against them every single day. We are certainly going to on this show. If you want to support that, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.
I don't think he's running the White House, do you? Maybe.
The problem is the movement of Christian nationalism is as against the Bill of Rights as they are against the actual teachings of Jesus, which is why you will never see our right-wing friends fighting to put any Jesus quotes on any buildings.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to look at a heated debate between John Fugelsang and Andrew Wilson on Piers Morgan Uncensored, and honestly, you'll see just how weak Andrew's logic gets when he tries to defend his points. Make sure you watch until the end, and I want to hear from you. If you're Christian, what are your thoughts on what Andrew Wilson said? Because personally, I disagree with most of his arguments, but I'm really curious to know what you think. Drop your thoughts down in the comments, and let's talk about it. All right, now let's get into the video.
Well, only about 30% of the country identifies with the main traits of Christian nationalism, and yet they make up 2/3 of the Supreme Court. But it is a very powerful movement that seeks to insert a very narrow, again, Christ-free version of Christianity onto every level of our government. The Founding Fathers were very thorough about this. Our official religion is all and or none. And if you are fighting against other religions because you think you're superior because of Jesus, then you don't actually follow Jesus, because his entire movement was about humility, uplifting the less fortunate, fighting for the marginalized, not total right-wing domination of politics or the school board. Again, I don't see any actual teachings of Christ that the right wing fights for. The only thing Donald Trump and Jesus have in common is they both spent a lot of time around hookers and they both use ghostwriters.
Oh,
Andrew.
Got him.
In today's video, I will show you how to make.
Yeah, Andrew, let me just ask you a question, which is this.
Happy to talk about scripture, by the way. Happy to talk about what Christ actually says versus Republican policies.
Me too. Okay, Andrew, my question for you would be this. Under Christian nationalism,
I think it's very telling that the House came up with a deal hold on just a second. Oh, I'm sorry. I said it wrong. I think it's very interesting that the Senate came up with a deal to end the government. So the way this should work is I need 60 votes to pass, right? I only have 50-something. So what does that mean? Well, we just keep voting on it again and again and again and again and again and again and again without changing anything and see if anybody helps us? No, obviously, we have to negotiate. So the Senate comes up with an idea to negotiate, and they have some people sign on to where that they can get it through. And then the House, because Mike Johnson fucking sent them home, the House has to be called back to Washington. They should have been there working every fucking day. There should have been negotiation going on. Like, how can I get one more vote? How can I get 5 more votes? How can I get 6 more votes? What do you want? Tell us, and I'll see if we can make that work, right? Give me your wish list, and we'll see what we can do. It's crazy that we've just gotten to the point where neither side will negotiate with the other side, and we're just sitting here. Why do they think that voting on the same bill 19 times is going to change anything?
What happens to Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists? I mean, what happens to those people if the identity of the United States is to be a Christian nationalist country? Then where does that leave people who don't identify as Christian nationalists?
Yeah, same thing that happens when you have state religions in nations right now. Nothing. So there's Western nations, people forget about this, that have churches. They actually have the church of whatever the nation is. And guess what? You're still free to pray how you want. Guess what? Here in the United States, when it's 95% Christian, identified 95% as Christian, you can still be a Jew. You can still be a
they're under
Muslim.
siege, right? They're persecuted, right?
That would be
95% Christian in America, and they're under attack.
Be a bonus in our favor that we're not doing the persecuting, doofus. So the thing is, it's so funny here. It's like even when we have full spectrum, dominance, Jesus called people vipers like you. Even when we have full spectrum dominance in culture,
he was calling out the conservative religious bosses when he did that, my friend.
We are far better in leadership capacities than secular atheists are. Guys like this, their entire
you should be in power, right? Power for the Christians, yes. Power above others, yes.
Of what you want is SpaceX, right? Isn't that really what your criticism is?
No, sir. Now you're lying about me because the argument makes you uncomfortable.
What are you upset about cultural Christians for? What are you actually upset about here? If Christians are in power, what do you think is going to happen to you? What do you think is going to happen to you if Christians are in power? What?
I think that the founding fathers were very specific more than once and said in the Treaty of Tripoli, ratified by Washington, signed by Adams, the government of the United States is
God, I hate Andrew Wilson.
No way founded on the Christian religion. I don't consider your movement to be of Christ, my friend.
It was a poll that was done where they self-identified as some sort of Christian.
Don't consider your movement to be of Christ.
In power.
Okay, everyone talks at the same time.
And I think it may have been of people who identify as religious, maybe.
Now, Trump's trying to ban an entire religion from entering the country, my friend.
If everyone talks at the same time, I can guarantee you one thing: nobody can understand. No one will understand what anyone says if you talk over each other. Please, guys, if you talk over each other, no one can hear a word you're all saying. Isabel.
The founding fathers were actually quite clear that you were expected to understand a working knowledge of submission to God in order to be an active participant in governance in the United States. Of the 13 original states, all of them, every single original state constitution of the 13 states required a declaration of faith to serve in the state government. 9 of them.
It's estimated about 65% or 70% or something.
Required you to have a declaration of faith as a Christian to serve in the state government. The Declaration
of Independence. The U.S. Constitution forbids it.
Our relationship to God.
The 10th Amendment. Have you heard of the 10th Amendment?
And they had a better
First Amendment forbids a religious test.
When Isabel Brown argued that every single original state constitution required a declaration of faith to serve in government, that point might sound convincing on the surface, but it leaves out something critical: context. Yes, some early state constitutions included religious language, but the founding fathers intentionally corrected that at the federal level. The U.S. Constitution was written after those state constitutions and explicitly rejected religious tests for public.
Why didn't it have it? Right? If every state constitution said you had to, some sort of religious test. Well, then why didn't the framers of the Constitution bring that? They knew it was a thing, right? They're aware of state constitutions. They're writing the federal Constitution. Why wouldn't they say, that really good idea from this state was a religious test? Oh, no, we're not doing that?
Office. That's why Article 6 says no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. In my opinion, what Isabel was doing there is a classic example of selective history, highlighting fragments that sound supportive while ignoring the evolution that defined the entire American experiment. The framers saw what happened when religion and power mixed in Europe: wars, persecution, and political corruption, and they wanted no part of that. So they built a system where faith could flourish freely but not rule. Then Piers Morgan jumped in with the question that really mattered. Under Christian nationalism, what happens to Jews, Muslims, Hindus, atheists? That question exposed the flaw right away. The response he got, basically saying nothing happens and you're still free to pray how you want, completely missed the mark. Freedom of religion isn't just about private prayer. It's about having equal rights in public life. If one faith is declared dominant, that automatically makes everyone else less visible, less represented, and less protected, in my opinion. But what makes that argument so dangerous is that it quietly normalizes exclusion under the banner of faith. Once the state starts aligning itself with a single religion, it's only a matter of time before policy and culture begin to favor that group over others. And history shows that always ends with inequality, whether it's in schools, workplaces, or even the justice system. So when people...
We're just now trying to get away from that. Like, I understand if you're a Christian, and that's cool. I'm not saying you shouldn't be, or you can't be, or whatever, right? But we're just now getting away from where regular, normal Christians already have favoritism. I know they scream we're persecuted and this, and they're attacking us. Not in America. That's just not fucking happening. In fact, everything's set up in your favor because you're the dominant group.
Defend Christian nationalism as harmless or just tradition. It's worth remembering that America's strength has never come from being one religion. It comes from allowing every belief or non-belief to coexist equally. The founding fathers didn't just separate church and state out of skepticism. They did it to protect both.
Hang on. The founding fathers also wanted to have a clear separation between church and state for the United States, didn't they?
Not really.
Okay, well, that's interesting. So, Andrew, am I not right in assuming that, Andrew?
You're not right in assuming that. They didn't want an establishment clause at the federal level for a national religion. States were allowed to have their own religions, and they did. They did have their own religions. She's absolutely right. You couldn't vote in many of the states unless you declared that you were part of the faithful. Like, this is just all revisionist history. We have the 10th Amendment, which says that if these powers are not given to the United States government, they go to the prospective states. The states had their own religious institutions. Mr. Viper over here is a complete liar. Always has been. And his book, he's full of this guy.
The concept of the separation.
So this guy wrote a book that basically like what you get wrong with Christianity.
My goodness. You're telling you the same name Jesus said.
It's not, I have to say, Andrew, it's not very Christian. It's not very Christian to keep hurling personal insults at another person on the panel, is it?
Well, then take it up with Jesus.
I can't believe this guy's on the panel and still smokes regular. I know I'm vaping, but he still smokes regular fucking darts, dude.
I remember Jesus saying, "Thou shalt go out and call everyone you don't like
bosses
doofus."
vipers.
He did. He called them vipers all the time. I don't know what to tell you. He did.
He called conservative religious authorities those words.
The people who are trying to utilize rigorism against Christians, it would be exactly who Christ would call vipers.
I'm using Jesus against
Let me ask John. Hang on, don't all talk at the same time, please. John, let me ask you this. You believe that Christian nationalism is against the American Constitution. Why?
Because the founders were very specific about not wanting to have an official state religion. Our official religion is all and or none. The problem is the movement of Christian nationalism is as against the Bill of Rights as they are against the actual teachings of Jesus, which is why you will never see our right-wing friends fighting to put any Jesus quotes on any buildings. Jesus never mentions abortion. God asserts that a fetus is property in Exodus 21, that a woman's life has more value in his eye. God gives abortion tips for pregnant unfaithful wives in Numbers chapter 5. That's why abortion's not banned in Jesus' religion. And that's why God and Jesus and Moses and Paul and the prophets...
In fact, if you want to make any argument for abortion with the Bible, in the Bible, basically a fetus, the mother was alive, right? The fetus was property of the father, as if someone did something to the mother and it caused the miscarriage, then they paid restitution to the father. They didn't go to jail for murder. In fact, it says that when they become alive is when they breathe. So honestly, if you want to make a Bible argument for abortion, you're way, 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 way too early, right? When they take the breath of life is what the Bible argues.
Never once condemn ending pregnancies or say what the penalty for ending a pregnancy should be. Am I saying Jesus was pro-abortion? No. What I'm saying is for 45 years in my country, peers, right-wing Christians have been groomed to prioritize something Christ never talked about and then vote against all the things he actually commanded. Jesus was against the death penalty more than once, not a fan of killing the sinner, never mentioned abortion, and yet you can't run for office.
100%. Look at her stupid ass fucking face. Jesus was against the death penalty.
As a Republican, unless you want to criminalize abortion, have the government force citizens to be pregnant against their will, pretend that comes from Jesus, and also think Jesus was wrong about not executing people.
Yeah, I agreed with what John said here. He's completely right that the founders never wanted an official state religion, and that our official religion is all or none. And honestly, that's what makes America special. That's what makes it free. Because freedom of religion isn't supposed to mean one faith sitting at the top while everyone else has to just deal with it. It means every single person, whether you're Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, atheist, whatever, has the same right to believe, to pray, or not to pray without the government telling you how. Look, the second we start saying this country should be officially Christian, something gets lost. Because when religion gets tied to government power, it stops being about personal faith. It becomes about political control. And when belief becomes law, that's not voluntary anymore. That's compulsory. History shows us what happens when you mix the two. It doesn't strengthen either one. It corrupts both. You know what's wild? The founding fathers actually lived through what happens when church and state merge. Back then, if you didn't follow the state religion, you could be punished.
His book, I'm probably going to get it and read it. It's called The Separation of Church and Hate.
Out of power, or even jailed. Whole wars were fought over which version of God people were allowed to believe in. The founders saw
John Fugelsang
that and said, never again. That's why they built a constitution that separates church and state. They weren't against religion. They were protecting it from being weaponized by those in power. And that's the part that matters. That separation is what keeps faith genuine. It lets Christians worship freely without government interference, and it gives everyone else that same respect. It's the wall that stops political power from corrupting spiritual belief. Once that wall falls, everything changes. The moment one religion becomes official, everyone outside it becomes less American in the eyes of the law. And we've seen how that story plays out throughout history. It leads to inequality.
I do audiobooks because I'm always working and doing things. So I always have podcasts or audiobooks playing in the background.
To people being treated as second-class citizens. That's why this matters. Freedom of religion isn't just some nice phrase in the Constitution. It's the foundation of equality. It's what lets you sit next to someone who doesn't believe what you believe and still treat them.
I like reading books. I just, while I'm working, I can't carry around a fucking book with me.
As you're equal under the law. The government doesn't get to decide which faith is correct, and no religious institution should get to write laws that apply to everyone. That balance, that's what protects everyone's freedom, including yours.
Isabel, I get the feeling you don't entirely agree.
No, not one iota of me agrees with that statement, Piers, and nor should any good thing in Scripture. It starts with a very simple commandment in the 10 Commandments: "Thou shalt not murder." Let's take off our...
Yes, but the Bible never considers a fetus as murder, ever, anywhere in the Bible.
Judaism does not consider a fetus to be a full life. Abortions are legal and free in Israel right now.
In biomedical sciences, and science is unequivocally clear that human life begins at conception. There is a genetically unique individual who has never...
So, honestly, to believe this argument, so you're supposed to believe that the Bible is true and without fault and divinely written by God himself through men that have faults, but he did away with that, right? So it helps with my ringing ears too. I like it a lot. That's why you always see me with headphones in when I'm not here. Anyways, to believe this fallacy that like, oh, well, now modern science shows us that life begins at conception. You would have to say, well, the Bible got it wrong because the Bible didn't say didn't think that life begins at conception. It believed it was when a baby took its first breath. You can't reconcile these two positions without saying the Bible was wrong.
And will never exist again, that is a living organism. And if that species is in fact a human being, which it is, it should be required that we give that person the same dignity, respect, and human rights of any other person on earth.
I don't know if Mariah's religious, but I often shove it down her throat.
This is this toxic empathy twisting concept of the American church that has been hijacked by left-wing politics.
Yeah, so the thing is funny is like he keeps on citing Israel as though that has not become a much more secular nation. There are Orthodox Jews who fight over abortion all the time. Religion. All the time, Orthodox Jews fight over abortion because of the idea of ensoulment, sir. And what does your Catholic dogma say about ensoulment? What does it say? Your Catholic dogma, you, the self-described Catholic, what does your dogma say about the ensoulment of a fetus? Can you tell me?
I was raised Catholic, sir, but my church is against the teachings of Christ on many areas.
Answer my question. What is the dogma? What is the dogma of the Catholic Church, which you described yourself as a progressive Catholic?
Okay, the Catholic Church says conception. The Bible says first breath. My point here is that the Bible does not.
Ensoulment's changed so much too. Like it was Aristotle that thought that ensoulment happened at 40 days past conception for males and like 120 days for females or something. Like it was insane. You guys need to be hashtag Team Mariah. She's blacked out before.
Progressive Catholic, y'all have prioritized something the Bible never forbids, and you vote and legislate against the stuff Christ actually talked about.
So let me get this right. You're a progressive Catholic that doesn't believe in your own dogma.
Andrew.
Is that right? You don't believe in your own
really
dogma?
know if the Pope would consider me a Catholic anymore. No, I think the church is wrong about a lot of things. Andrew, some of us go beyond
progressive Catholic. Why?
Because that's how I was raised. Let me ask you a question.
Andrew. Because you're trying to credibility to a Democrat. That's why.
Andrew.
To the coroner. Almost to the coroner, if you know what I mean.
Says that he knows they're going to be aborted.
According to Catholic dogma, yes.
So God put the soul in a baby that he knows is going to be. So God put the soul in a baby that he knows will be aborted.
Do you realize that by your logic you would be denying the omnipotence of God? That God does not know you're going to die before you die. Do you believe that? You just said Jesus Christ is God.
I'm not denying that at all. I'm asking you. Is God put the soul?
Hang on.
Yeah, I completely agreed with what John did there. That moment was brilliant because he took the theological framing Andrew was using and turned it into a question Andrew had to answer. Does God knowingly...
God put a soul in a baby that he knows will be aborted.
Fetuses that he knows are going to be aborted? Think about what that question does. If you believe God is all-knowing and all-powerful, which Andrew said he does, then God would already know which pregnancies would end. Yet according to that same belief system, he still gives those souls life. So what does that mean for the argument being made? It creates a contradiction that's really hard to resolve. Either God knows and chooses to do it anyway, which changes the moral framing entirely, or there's something about the theology that doesn't line up with the political argument being pushed. And what I loved about John's approach is how calm he stayed while asking it. He didn't yell, he didn't preach. He just asked a question that made the logic collapse under his own weight. That's what great debating looks like. It's not about who can quote more scripture or sound more righteous. It's about asking the question that exposes where an argument doesn't hold together. And here's what matters about that exchange. John wasn't attacking faith itself. He was pointing out that when theology gets used to justify policy that affects everyone, those arguments need to make sense. They need to be consistent. Because once religious interpretation becomes the foundation for law, it's not just about personal belief anymore. It's about what gets imposed on others. In my opinion, that's the real issue here. Faith is personal. It's between you and whatever you believe in. But the second it becomes the reason someone else loses the ability.
Someone else's ability. I don't care if you think you should never be allowed to have an abortion. That's not anybody else's problem. You know what I mean?
To make their own medical decisions, their own deeply personal choices. That's when we've crossed the line. That's when belief stops being about conscience and starts being about control over others' lives. What John showed in that moment is that you can respect faith while still questioning whether it should be the basis for legislation. Because in a country where people believe different things, where some people have faith and some don't, the government can't pick one interpretation and make it law for everyone. That's not protecting religion. In my opinion, that's actually undermining the freedom that makes personal faith possible in the first place.
Hang on. I want to ask you a question, just to round things off here, because we mentioned Charlie Kirk a lot. I watched a lot of
Yeah, I was watching a pretty good argument the other day about basically everything. Like, you know, free will and heaven and does a sinner, let's say in a hypothetical, a sinner, someone that's not saved, was on the verge of getting saved. Like they just started thinking about it. They heard the message. They were thinking about it. They're going through. And at that moment, boom, they get hit by a freightliner, right? And die. That person goes to hell because they were milliseconds away from making the decision. And if they would have, you know, had 0.3 more seconds to make the decision, now they go to heaven, right? Like, I don't know. The whole thing is weird.
The Charlie Kirk service. And I found a lot of it profoundly moving, I have to say. Not least of all, the crowd themselves. You know, I did not get the feeling I was at some, you know, full-on political rally. Trump did what Trump does, and he obviously made some of it political. But actually, most of the speakers, as I think Isabel said, really talked up other things that Charlie Kirk stood for. But the overriding feeling I got was of a religious ceremony here, paying tribute to somebody who, at the forefront of everything he stood for, was his Christian faith. And the one thing I can absolutely guarantee, as a consequence of the brutal murder of Charlie Kirk, is that I think there will be a definite increase in the number of young people identifying as Christians, and they will probably identify as Christian conservatives. I mean, that, John, I think is almost an inevitable consequence of what happened. What do you think?
I don't care what they call themselves. I wish Christians would follow, believe in, and fight for the things Jesus actually talked about, as opposed to the things conservative Christians have been groomed to fight for and prioritize, which often have nothing to do with the teachings of Christ. There is no Jesus.
You can go back and literally see that after basically the civil rights were enforced and they weren't allowed to be openly racist, to get Southern votes, they literally made Christianity the groups that control Christianity, like the Baptist conventions and shit like that, decided to make abortion a topic. And before that, they never fucking talked about it, ever. It wasn't one of their things. They didn't talk about it. They didn't preach about it. They didn't say God commanded it. They didn't go around and protest. They didn't do nothing. And then suddenly that's the hot button issue to get people to vote Republican.
Jesus-based defense of Donald Trump support. You look at immigration alone, you have to reject God of the entire Old Testament who commanded us to treat the alien as one of our own. You have to reject Jesus, who said that who said that the way you treat the immigrant is the way you treat him. I need someone to explain to me why Donald Trump's right and God and Jesus are wrong. I don't care how people identify.
What you've done for the least of me, you've done for me as well.
It's the same exact logic. Yeah, it's the same exact logic that he used when he was raising money for Kamala Harris, who said we have to have secure borders, told Guatemalans can't come into the nation, and said, quote, I did this now as justification because otherwise I would look like a hypocrite, because she was a lesser of two evils. We can use the exact same argument. Exact same argument. It's a lesser of two evils to have a wide open border where human trafficking can occur.
No one called for a wide open border. No one called for that. You're a very false witness.
You did. You said
there isn't a wide open border, obviously.
Religious refugees. We should look at them as religious refugees and just be totally
Jesus calls for an open border.
That's what you said we should do and how Christians should behave.
God calls for an open border. And Ronald Reagan calls for an open border and amnesty.
Because, sir, you're a hypocrite. Everything you accuse us of, you yourself did.
Why is Jesus wrong about the border? Why is Jesus wrong?
Policies.
Dude, she was going to hurt less people, and it's been proven by the way.
She would hurt more people for human trafficking.
Hang on.
When John asked, why is Jesus wrong about the border? That question made everyone in that room stop and think. In my opinion, what made it so powerful is that it highlighted a real tension. You can't point to Christian values as the foundation of your politics and then push policies that seem to contradict what those values actually teach. Think about what that question does. For years, we've seen political figures invoke religion to rally support, to stir emotion, to build movements. But how often do we see those same figures centering the parts of Scripture about compassion, about caring for the stranger, about humility? In my opinion, John's question made that gap impossible to ignore. If Jesus taught people to love their neighbor and welcome the outsider, then how do we square that with policies built on fear and exclusion? And here's what really gets me about this. The Bible is actually incredibly specific about how to treat immigrants and strangers. I'm talking dozens of verses across both Old and New Testament. Leviticus 19:34 says to treat the foreigner living among you as your native born and love them as yourself. Deuteronomy commands not to deprive foreigners of justice. Matthew 25 talks about welcoming the stranger as if you're welcoming Christ himself. These aren't suggestions or footnotes. These are central teachings repeated over and over. So when political leaders wrap themselves in Christian...
Central to the faith of the poor and the homeless and the meek and it's a central tenet. Abortion isn't. How many parables can you find of Jesus talking about abortion?
language while advocating for policies that separate families, that treat asylum seekers with suspicion, that build walls instead of bridges. There's a fundamental disconnect. In my opinion, that's not just political disagreement. That's selectively choosing which parts of Scripture matter based on what serves a political agenda. You don't get to claim Jesus while ignoring what he actually said about the most vulnerable. There's something else happening here that we need to talk about. When Christianity gets used this way, when it becomes associated with exclusion rather than welcome, it changes how people see the faith itself. Young people who aren't religious, people who are searching, they're watching this. And what message does it send when the loudest Christian voices in politics are the ones defending harsh immigration enforcement rather than advocating for compassion? In my opinion, that's doing damage not just to political discourse, but to how Christianity is understood in our culture. Think about the long-term impact of that. When faith becomes synonymous with building walls instead of building community, when Christian values start to mean...
Exactly. When I see a video on social media about a crazy fucking Christian that's like, fuck the immigrants or whatever, there's all these comments of other crazy Christians saying, yeah, that's what God wants. Yeah, I preach it, blah, 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 amen. But people that are outside the religion are like, this is why I hate religion. This is why religion should be banned. This is why there's no hate like Christian love. But when there's actually a pastor that is on social media preaching about, like, maybe we're wrong. We're supposed to take care of these people. We're supposed to be compassionate. We're supposed to, have compassion for these people, the immigrant, the poor. We're supposed to be serving these people. They are the least of us. Then you have people saying, well, I'm not a Christian, but I agree with this. Well, I can see myself going to this church even though I'm not religious. Like, that's what opens it up to people who aren't already Christians.
Meaning keep people out instead of welcome people in, you're fundamentally changing what those words mean. And once that association takes hold, it's incredibly hard to undo. We're already seeing it. Church attendance is declining, especially among younger generations. And one of the main reasons people give for leaving is that they don't see the values they were taught about love and compassion reflected in how Christianity shows up in politics. There's a cultural impact here too. When compassion gets treated as weakness and harsh policies get defended as necessary strength, something shifts in how we see each other. Empathy starts feeling optional, political instead of human. Immigrants, people struggling, anyone on the margins, they stop being seen as individuals with real lives and real stories. They become talking points, symbols in a debate. In my opinion, that kind of shift happens slowly, but once it takes hold, it's really hard to walk back. What's your thought on this? Leave it down in the comments. And please hit that like button and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.
So apparently I've been playing with it. Truth Social has AI now. This is a good video, by the way. The Elan show, ELAN show. Oh, I need to subscribe there. Apparently Truth Social has AI now. I've been playing with it in the background, asking it questions about Trump.
Tim Miller from the Bulwark here.
But I did not know that they had AI. I've got it pulled up here. Who pays the tariffs, I asked. It says, short answer, importer pays the tariff at the border, and the costs are largely passed on to U.S. businesses and consumers through higher prices. Only a very, very small share would be absorbed by a foreign exporter.
Some news that is as shocking to me as I'm sure it will be to you. Truth can actually be found on Truth Social.
I think it bothers them so much that AI won't bend to their will. But AI is just absorbing all the reliable sources that they can find. And the reliable sources are not on their side.
Donald Trump's social media site is Orwellian named Temu Twitter. But the truth isn't coming from the posts or any of the posters or any that I saw. Well, maybe from my secret account, Cuckslayer.
There's a TikTok account you should follow, and it's literally called MAGA versus Grok or something like that. You can Google, you can search that on TikTok and it'll take you to whatever the account is. But it's always them raging out saying, at first they try every little trick in the book. Well, you didn't take this into account. Or what if you take this into account? Or what about what you're not telling them is this? And then finally they're like, fuck AI. It's leftists, liberals. I can't believe communist AI over here.
Truth is coming from a new feature that they launched a couple months ago called Truth Search AI. And you can go to Truth Search AI and ask them some questions, and the computer will spit out answers based on what it has seen from the internet. It uses mostly conservative sites, so you would think that it would be advancing a lot of Donald Trump's lies, but turns out many of Donald Trump's lies are so ridiculous that they're even debunked by his own social media company's AI. Let's go through them together. Shout out to our guy Jared, who did a great interview over on the FY Pod that you should go check out, who works at the Bulwark offices, who is out there doing the rapid response, who's on the ground, who's on these shitty sites so you don't have to be. Jared was on the spot of this. Shout out to Jared. Okay, let's go through. Was the 2020 election stolen from Donald Trump? We asked Truth Social AI. The AI responded, no. Dozens of court rulings, bipartisan state certifications, and multiple recounts and audits found no evidence the 2020 election was stolen from Donald Trump. 041. Let's continue. We asked the Truth Social AI, do Trump's tariffs cost the American people money? The Truth AI responded, yes. Tariffs are taxes on imports, and evidence shows the costs are largely passed on to U.S. businesses and consumers through higher prices and input costs. It's pretty funny since now Trump's out there talking about how people need a $2,000 rebate check from the tariffs. He wants to send people a $2,000 check. Wonder why they need that rebate check. Well, if you ask the AI on Truth Social, it will tell you it's because they've been paying higher costs, paying more thanks to Donald Trump's tariffs. So in an affordability year, maybe Donald Trump shouldn't have been doing something that cost people more money. Man, the Trump's AI is hot. It's like Ken Jennings of AI over here. How about this one? Trump's been floating a new idea for affordability, a 50-year mortgage. Might save people money, he says. One of the stupidest ideas I've heard. We went ahead and asked the Truth Social AI, will a 50-year mortgage option help make housing more affordable in the U.S.? Truth Social AI replies, probably not. A 50-year mortgage would lower monthly payments modestly, but largely shifts costs into the future, adds substantial lifetime interest, and risks pushing prices higher if it boosts demand without adding supply. This AI is out there citing sources like Washington Times and Fox Business, but a couple others that we asked. Trump recently floated that Barack Obama was receiving royalties for the use of his name on Obamacare. We asked about that. Truth Social AI says, no, there's no credible evidence that Barack Obama received royalties from the Affordable Care Act. We asked about the upcoming court question over tariffs, and we asked Truth Social AI, would you say that Donald Trump's argument that he has virtually unlimited tariff powers under IEPA is sound? The AI replied, no, courts have repeatedly rejected the claim that IEPA gives the president virtually unlimited tariff authority, and the Supreme Court justices across the ideological spectrum have shown skepticism. Hopefully the real-life Supreme Court justices are as prudent as Trump's AI. Here's one more policy question that's out there when it comes to the law, similar to the tariff and IEPA question. Is it legal for the United States to bomb Venezuelan drug boats in the Caribbean? I asked the Trump Truth Social AI. Short answer, not clearly. Under both U.S. domestic law and international law, there's no settled disclosed legal basis authoring the United States to bomb suspected Venezuelan drug boats. I wonder if we asked, were all the Venezuelans that the U.S. sent to Secot in El Salvador members of the gang Tren de Aragua? We're going to do this one live here. Let's see what we see. Drum roll, please. Were all the Venezuelans we sent to El Salvador members of Tren de Aragua? No. El Salvador and U.S. officials publicly labeled many of the transferred Venezuelans as alleged members of the gang Tren de Aragua, but not all were confirmed members, and the U.S. did not provide evidence in each individual case. That's interesting. You go down bottom line. Authorities claimed many were Tren de Aragua, but available records of court filings show not all were members, and some were described only as migrants without proof. So if it was me, if it was, I don't know, woke AI or something, I think I'd go further than that. Like, it seems like most of the members were not members. Most of the people we sent to El Salvador were not members of Tren de Aragua, and it is offensive and an affront to their human rights that we sent a lot of people that weren't gang members there. Frankly, even if they were gang members sending there would have been wrong. But I could have been a little bit more authoritative. But the fact that even the Truth Social AI that is premised, that is undergirded by conservative media sites that say definitively that all folks that we sent to a foreign prison were not gang members, as the administration claimed, is yet another debunking of the lies of this administration. Here's one of my favorites. Would Trump date his daughter Ivanka? We asked. Yes, the Trump Truth Social AI.
Oh, shit.
Repeatedly made comments implying he would date Ivanka. I mean, can Trump fire his AI like he fired the BLS director when it gave him bad news? Because the computer is out of control. The computer cannot be controlled. Maybe this is an argument. Maybe this is how we...
One of the mods on Telegram, did Phil get busted sexting with Patriot Princess?
Win Trump over for AI regulations. Once he realizes that the Frankenstein monster on his agitprop propaganda website has come out and educated people visiting the site about his desire to date his own daughter. Here's another one. Have grocery prices gone down since Donald Trump took office on January 20th, 2025? The AI answers, drum roll please, the Trump Truth Social AI answers. Short answer, no. As of 2025, grocery prices have not fallen since...
Most people have already paid the $2,000.
January 20. They've continued to rise modestly on net. Oopsie doopsie. And we continue. We go back to Donald Trump's career in the private sector. I wondered what Trump AI thought about whether Trump bankrupted a casino. And the AI replied, yes. Trump ran a casinos filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy multiple times. But Trump did not personally declare bankruptcy. That's the first Trumpian defense we've seen from it. Goes through the Taj Mahal, the Trump Plaza Hotel in Atlantic City. Let's see. Let's go ahead and ask: is it common for casinos to go bankrupt? Let's see. Is it common for casinos to go bankrupt?
Damn near impossible.
Let's see what the AI has to say about that, the Truth Social AI. Short answer, no. Casino bankruptcies happen, but they're not common relative to the size of the industry. It's really something. This administration is advancing so many lies. Donald Trump has advanced so many lies, so many blatant lies, that their own propaganda site could use an AI tool that would, with prejudice, debunk the administration on issue after issue, on the main issues that they're pushing, whether it be the tariffs, whether it be affordability, whether it be the bombing of boats in the Caribbean. Time after time, this Trump's own AI is clearly stating that the administration is lying to you. Not sure what more you need than that. And it will be interesting to see how long that AI persists on TruthSocial.com following the post of this video. Why don't you send this video to anybody in your life that's a big MAGA fan, or to maybe some of Donald Trump staffers, maybe the Truth Social, send it to Devin Nunes, send it to people that work for Truth Social. Just ask them what they think about this. What do you think about the fact that Truth Social AI is debunking the administration on issues far and wide? We'll see how that turns out. Everybody subscribe to the feed. My man Jared and the rest of us monitor this stuff so you don't have to. We appreciate your support. Comment, like. We'll see y'all soon.
Damn. All right, guys. I've got a, that's something to look into. It looks like Phil Godlewski may have been busted sexting with Patriot Princess. I need to look it up. But a few hours ago, Shaq, he was posting about all this stuff. What in the fresh hell is this? Philip got caught sending dick pics of his mini-P to the he-she Patriot Prince. The obligatory "I've been hacked." Those aren't really Phil Godlewski. Post, haha, exposed Phil Godlewski. Uh-oh, drunk Carrie. Guess Philip just low-key admitted he doesn't like looking at your face when his mini-mole tries to stand at attention. I'm sure drunk Carrie Godlewski got her name on the cabin as a consolation prize for recognizing Philip's gross arm in the pic. And the "I've been hacked" trope didn't work because the tacky Godlewski Dollar Tree decor was a dead giveaway. The tattoos, man. I mean, AI is doing a lot of stuff, and they're making different things, but this looks bad. Yeah, I like giving it from behind, but something about you, I'd want to see your face. You're insanely beautiful, so that really takes it another level. Then he sends a dick picture with his tattoo in it, and it says, "Look what you've done to it." It looks like there's some nudes of her as well. Okay, gotta go. I'll text you when it's safe. Enjoy. And there's another video. A masturbation video. There's a picture of her with her tits out that says, "That'll be our thing. Don't forget the banana. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this." Maybe they're fake. Maybe they're made up, but damn, they seem legit. We'll have to get in the back of that. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. Philip is going live right now to distract from the fact that we caught him cheating. Is Phil live right now? He said he couldn't go live today. You guys remember that?
A peace plan.
Because it was Veterans Day.
Fire in place.
He couldn't go live.
Choosing terror. And on
what's he going to say? Fake AI.
$1,000 and generous.
It's not a normal penis.
.ice.gov.
But there's so many examples of him sexting other people. You could train an AI on his fucked up dick.
So much. I don't know if that's AI, but we'll see. But we're also going to get like I'm going to turn.
Oh, this is from the Grifter Elite channel. Where's Phil's channel? Oh, he did go live. I want to make sure the replay time was right. I want to see he would have to address it right off the bat. I'm not going to watch this whole show for almost 2 hours.
Test.
He has to address it pretty quick.
There we go.
But he just said yesterday there's no way he can go live today because Veterans Day and shit, right? Isn't that what he said? Maybe I'm wrong.
What's up, guys? Sorry about that. I take a quick phone call. My kids are going to sleep back on the East Coast pretty soon, and I wanted to call them before I started my live, because once I start my live, by the time I get done, they're already going to be asleep. So I figured I'd talk to them now real quick. All right, sound looks good. Video looks good. No issues tonight. Might have a little bit of an echo. I have to upgrade my equipment in this room. I might actually do that this week while I'm in Havasu. But yeah, we're live from Havasu. We got a pretty cool show planned tonight. Not really any one particular topic that I'm going to talk about. Just a whole bunch of stuff that, over since the last time I went live, lots of stuff that's worthy of talking about has happened. So we're going to touch on that a little bit. I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about what I want you to be careful with. We're going to talk a little bit about that stuff. And also a couple things here and there. I think it'll make you feel a little bit more comfortable than maybe right now. So before we get started, I want you guys to tell me where you're from. Howdy. Cape Vincent, Thousand Island. I wonder what the hell. Colorado. Florence, Alabama. Oh. Imagine tell people where you live. Where you live, sir? Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. Oklahoma. Orleans, Jacksonville, Florida. Burton, Michigan. Casper, a lot of people call me a goat. Not a goat, but the goat. I think there's a difference. There's a difference between called a goat and the goat. I think. Maybe not. I don't know, actually, now that I think about it. Sorry for the last couple cancellations. I had a couple things going on this past week. I pulled out my lower back slightly. It was really weird. But when I coughed, my lower left back would like tighten, almost like a cramp. Never had that happen before. And it was like for 2 days that way. So I had to like, after it would do that, I had to like stretch it to get it out of that position. It was very, very, very uncomfortable. And I took some muscle tickles like that ever. And
you can tell like he's never had money before. He just spends it on ridiculous things when he steals from the old people.
It just completely knocked me out. Just little minor things that usually wouldn't be a thing start to happen. Last week I prevented me from going live, but we're here now. We're gonna do another live later this week. I don't know what day yet, so I don't think that would be it. But put your patches on pain. I actually have been doing that. You know, I get in a bad habit where I get off of the lightweight patches, and that's like terrible. You should never do that once you're on them. You should stay on them because they're really something. And sometimes I just forget, to put it on, and then I guess we all do that. Try being 70, wait till you hit 60. I don't even want to talk about that. Somebody said that to me earlier today. My chiropractor was here at our house. Oh, I got a new sponsor for tonight's show. I'm excited about this sponsor. They actually came to us and they wanted to be on my show. And I know a lot of you guys are into crypto. We talk about crypto many times on the show.
And you've said stay away from crypto, that it was already done for, that you made all your millions off Bitcoin, and that there was no more money to be made there, that they should only invest in gold and silver with you.
What I tried to do with sponsorships over the years, not just recently, and this sponsor's a really good one for exactly that, because I know a lot of you guys, it's not, you guys know by now that I'm a big people are, but they also have like a side thing too. So when I try to get people to advertise on my show or to sponsor my show, it is important to me that I find somebody that I think could help you guys. And this is my show is crypto.com. Crypto.com. And one thing about cryptocurrency that I've learned over the last several years now is that there's always talk about it, that it's emerging, it's the next big thing, it's whatever. It's not emerging anymore, it's here. It's Trump talks about it all the time, media talks about it all the time, we talk about whether it's XRP or whatever cryptocurrency that there is out there. Bitcoin obviously over 100,000 a coin now. I actually was into Bitcoin for a very long time, very early on. I shouldn't say a very long time, it was very early on. And I got in at a low level and I sold at a high level and I was in and never came back. And that's kind of what crypto.com is all about. There is a big partnership going on right now. I don't know if you guys heard about it, between Trump Media and the Yorkville Acquisition Corporation. If you don't know about that, you should definitely look it up. Crypto.com has partnered with Trump Media and the Yorkville Acquisition Corporation. And it's a platform that's trusted by millions and millions and millions of users worldwide. Trump Media actually signed a massive $6.4 billion contract, $1 billion deal. $6.4 billion Trump Media signed with these guys. That's how serious it is. They're teaming up to scoop up about $6.4 billion in CRO, the powerhouse to establish America's healthcare, to really fine tune your education when it comes to when it plan outside of precious metals. So, but for being on the show, I appreciate you guys sponsoring the show tonight for you. Let me bracket that. If I had a choice between cryptocurrency and precious metals, I am precious metals all day long. All day long. Period. And your eggs in one basket. Type of mistake when doing that. So those two things are where I go. Now, for a lot of an educated opinion of there's a big, and we also talked about, probably about a year ago now, crypto metals. A lot more.
Crypto metals.
He's a huge metals guy. I don't know if you know about promoting crypto. So you guys know, you make the decision. I don't end up right now. I don't know why it's doing these things. I'm actually going to get a new computer tomorrow by the next live and have a suit going to look a lot different. Now that we're off of crypto, let's talk a little bit about metal. Silver has eclipsed 30 tweak. I think it's going to go back to where it was originally. So I told you guys buy the dip. When you see a dip like that, and all of the things that we've been talking about, we still know to be true. The supply problem, the problem with the manufacturers and all that stuff. It's really important if you see it go down, get in at that time. In fact, because of the dip, we had last month our greatest month ever for my affiliates with coldquiz.com. Greatest month ever. I said this in one of my many lives, not many lives, but my many videos the other day I put on Telegram, that we gave away $120,000 as of last week of free silver. And it's just very, very cool. Just any qualified purchase. If you just want to go there and take advantage of that offer. Affiliates. So they're $1,000. I get emotional a little bit sometimes. I know, and I've known for a long time that you guys lean on a lot of things that I say. You guys trust me explicitly, and you're a very, very loyal group. My following is a very, very loyal group. I've never had anything like that in my life until I started live streaming. And what's weird is I'm the same person on camera that I am off camera. I'm no different. Like I act exactly the same. I talk exactly the same. This is just how I am. And I've never had that connection on my shoulders, and I carry with me. And I welcome that responsibility. And when I have an opportunity to do something like this with coldquiz.com,
oh God,
if you were one of those first people to do it and you didn't wait,
of course it's an ad.
I have one. Their 401k IRA. They're getting over $1 million in a year just because of the price of metal. So it's the same thing. You have a 401k IRA right now, right? It's sitting there. Whoever you're with, they take your money that's in that 401k IRA and they invest it somewhere. Almost always they invest it in the stock market. Almost always. So the stock market is a 401k IRA, and instead of being in the stock market, they put it into metal. $1,000 over $1 million. And they
stock market is doing well.
Sincerely thank me for us. I know that we had a record-setting month last night with gold, or last month with gold, and we are going to extend that 1% up to December actually. Well, I think silver is a great term. Heater. This guy over here in the chat, Heater 32 said, "Phil, you can." Can you imagine me being president? Woo. Great term. Heater. This guy over here in the chat, Heater 32 said, "Phil, 2028." Can you imagine me being president? Woo. Not Trump. There's 33 felonies. Last time I checked, he mopped the floor in the election. So don't tell me who could or can't be president. He's a convicted felon 33 times over. He's still president of the United States. So what the heck's going on here? Because the general consensus that what's on my neck tattoo? Why am I getting so distracted by the chat tonight? My neck tattoo is a bunch of tribal, these little, they all just a little neck thing. I relate to my life. So of watching and listening to the mainstream media is through tariffs. The tariffs that when we talk about tariffs, we talk about
yeah. I don't think he's going to address it. He would have addressed it early, surely.
Record is in plus that no one that they're Trump enemy. So don't get me started about. Although that is true, Trump is a convicted felon and he won. No one that they're Trump enemy. So don't get me started about. So and I love how he's handled how Trump and the Trump administration, and there's a lot more than just the Trump administration that has, and all the whole while all this is happening, getting all this set up. The financial system is going to details.
All right, guys, I'm out. Well, I'll check into that and let you guys know back what's going on, what happened. and why. But I got to go. I got to get some rest. We got electrical walkthrough tomorrow at the campground. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you for being here. Thanks for hanging out with me. I appreciate it. Support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Time in the market's always better than trying to time the market. You're right. Thank you guys. Support the show. Buymeacoffee.com/coldbeer. Help us pay the bills around here. They come every month. Bert's been trying to explain to me how to tie up my financial, make ends meet there, but I'm not sure if it's getting through to me. Maybe I need a new financial advisor. See you guys on the next one. Have a good night. Love you. See you. Bye. Also, be on the lookout for Bert. He could be coming to a town near you in disguise. Okay?
About if this douchebag happens to see this particular show, you don't have the fork and balls to call out the people on this planet by name and tell them exactly who they are and tell them the rest of the world who they are. You don't have the fork and balls. You don't have the balls.
Okay, Scott.
Here we go, I think I started some shit. Listen off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
And they say that I'm a lunatic. Well, listen, bitch, I came equipped with a quick wit and a 6 cents for the stupid shit.
Where my true believer?
Y'all need Jesus.
Praise the Lord, head to the extreme.
All these false fucking prophets who profit off of gossip. Worshipping drums, cocking, begging for a throat deposit. Swinging fucking meat hammers like fool in a thong. He's strapped to the shaft, eating his chest like he's King Kong. Starving for attention, I'ma make your gut burst. I'll be your huckleberry, I can quench that thirst. Baby eating lizard people, alien sex. What's next? Trump in a dress, fucking Flynn on his desk. A retard in a vest, climbing up 5G towers, cause you told him if he did, he'd get fucking super.
Oh, Elvis. Yeah, I need to be on the lookout for that. A big fat Johnny Cash.
Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet. Here we go, I think I started some shit. Piss them off, it's about to get lit. Get the place in the best, you know that stage is set. You better buckle up, cause you ain't seen none yet.
I used to find clues too when I was high on shrooms. I found myself a tunnel that led to Jason Q's bedroom. Open his
Good night.